It is 3 o'clock. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Jackson Williams. In the NFL, the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to terms on a 2-year extension after a blockbuster trade with the Seahawks sent Smith to Vegas earlier this offseason. Smith had a 29-25 record with the Seahawks before the trade and was a 2-time Pro Bowler and was the 2022 AP Comeback Player of the Year. This extension keeps him tied to Vegas for the next 3 seasons. In NFL news, former UT quarterback Joe Milton has been traded from the Patriots along with a 7th-round pick to the Cowboys for a 5th-rounder. Milton was a 6th-round pick in the 2024 draft. He played in 1 game in his rookie season, completing 22 of 29 passes for 241 yards and a touchdown. The Preds back on the ice tonight as they take on the Dallas Stars in Dallas. Puck drop for that game set for 7 p.m. For our foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Yo, welcome in 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty with you on a beautiful day in the Music City. I say that because your feet hit the ground this morning, making it a beautiful day. I know, obviously, we're dealing with a lot of weather. And we talked a lot about it yesterday, and we had Will Minkoff on from Nashville Severe Weather, and who outlined it beautifully about what was going to happen last night. And the last I heard, there were 4 fatalities in Tennessee due to the storms, and we're not done, y'all. So, again, head on a swivel, weather aware, all of those things. Nash Severe WX on Twitter, a must follow during these situations. And props to all the meteorologists last night who stayed up all night without commercial and delivered
all night
the weather and the news and kept everyone updated. I stayed up to
we're on my phones tracking while we're in our safe spot. Thank you to all of you.
The very first line was headed toward Brentwood. And it's funny, man. Not funny, haha, but Linden, everything kept forming over Linden, Tennessee. And so the first line went through, was headed toward Brentwood. So I immediately texted Slay, even though he was in San Antonio, just wanted to make sure he was aware so his family was okay and all those things. And included you and Travis on there. And Travis was like, I'm up. I'm like, good.
Yep.
And so
I said, this one's on you. I'm going to sleep. Just let me know when we have to get up and go to our safe spot.
And, you know, everyone's got their responsibility in a relationship. But, I will always stay up for storms and try to text people. And, like, there was a storm headed toward Dixon. I texted Trey Hartsook from Dickens Turf and Landscape Supply, made sure he was good. And so he was up, and me and him had a wild conversation during the night. So anyway, stayed up. So this is funny. I stayed up till like 5:30, then went to sleep. And then I forgot that I had an appointment here at 9:45. I just happened to wake up. Didn't set an alarm. Just happened to wake up, threw clothes on, came here, saw Jackson, saw other people here, and got my stuff done, and then got back home and prepared for the show today. But
I think everybody in Davidson, Williamson, probably Wilson, every single county is a little bleary-eyed this morning. I know Williamson County School's out. Davidson was out, yeah. So, and then on top of it, you have the flooding that's now going to be an issue because there's more coming. So,
rain totals. So this is another part of this thing. So I saw as of 10:15 this morning. So obviously you can add to these totals. But as of 10:15 this morning, Oak Hill 5.42 inches of rain. Woo! Bellevue 5.81. Sycamore and Cheatham County 4.09. I know Green Hills. I've seen pictures and videos. Green Hills underwater in various places. So that's going to, aside from the severe weather that we need to pay attention to, because conditions are right now for these pop-up supercell storms that we kept seeing last night. But the rain totals and the flooding going to be an issue. So don't try to drive across water, man. Don't do it. It's not worth it. So make sure you do that. Make sure you these are all things you don't need to say, but you feel like you need to. You know what I mean? Like, make sure your kids aren't playing near a creek or, you know, things like that. So we will pay attention, and if we get tornadoes, we will definitely pass along that information to you. There are tornado watches. There are flash flood warnings, and I cannot take my eyes off Jackson, who has your old set of pink headphones that has the broken right ear flap
What
that
are
is
you doing, Smiley?
pointed at a 90-degree angle.
Me and Bird have both been wearing this for like a week. I guess this is just the first time you've seen us. So,
This is the first time I've noticed that.
We've been wearing them for a
It
while.
looks very good on you.
I think pink's a flattering color for me.
Don Davenport is here, y'all.
What up? Hit it, Smiley. There you go.
We need to make a little announcement in case you haven't heard or read.
Yeah.
Ramon Foster will be Mike Keith's football analyst for the Vol Network. How about that?
Congratulations, Big Savage.
Great choice.
You know what? You're allowed to play that for that announcement.
Ramon will love that. And he's coming on the show today at 5:20, sorry.
If that isn't perfect time.
Yes, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster at 5:20. I'll work my way back. Greg Cosell, NFL Films. And we're going to talk with Cosell about running backs, which is supposed to be maybe the deepest position, and tight ends. Who's the best guy? Is it Tyler Warren from Penn State? Colston Loveland from
that
Michigan.
Guy can do everything.
You covered him. Mason Taylor at LSU. We all love. Again, SEC bias maybe, but Jason Taylor's kid.
Well, we also spent time with him at SEC Media Days,
Yes.
so that too.
Very smart, very kind, gracious. Jackson is shaking his head. Why?
Oh, no, I just wanted to see if I could make you laugh by making the ear cup do the dangly earring thing.
See, this is what we get when Zeph leaves us.
Yeah.
Just pure professionalism in there.
So Zeph is getting married on Saturday. Yesterday was his last day before his wedding, and he's hoping for no rain on Saturday. But again, the Nashville severe weather guys told us there are going to be clouds full of water above you on Saturday, and he's got an outdoor wedding. But then he's going on his honeymoon, so we're not going to see Zeph for like 10 days. So congrats to him, although he is still texting things like Joe Milton to the Cowboys.
And
He's texted me approximately 43
I know.
times
I'm like,
today.
what are you doing, dude? I know you have things to do. I know you got a to-do list from your fiance. Let's go.
I was going to say, when I take days off, I still am in there texting and trying to help y'all. But it's different deal with me sitting in my underwear and my place. But yeah, you don't know.
When I'm off, I'm like, oh, are y'all alive? Great.
Well, and that's my vision for days off. Like, number one, you get them, so use them, right?
Mm-hmm.
Number two, when you use them, take them off. But I get bored, so I'd rather.
There you go.
It's harder for me to walk away for a day. But yeah, we'll talk with Cosell about running backs and tight ends. We'll ask him about Ashton Genty. I did tell him that I had a dream that the Titans traded back and took Ashton Genty.
What was Cosell's response?
You need better dreams. That's what he wrote.
That cracked me up.
So we'll also ask him about record-setting running back Dylan Sampson from Tennessee, among others. Tootin, Quinshon Judkins, and Trayshawn Harrison from Ohio State. Jarquez Hunter. You know I love him from Auburn. I know you do too.
I love him. Hugh loved him too. Hey, can I just say this real quick? Ramon is still going to stay at the station.
Oh, yeah.
Yes, people were panicking. No, he's still with us. He's going to do both.
Yeah. You can't do Ramon, Kayla, and Will without Ramon.
Yeah. So he'll be here.
Unless you made it Jackson, Kayla, and Will. I don't know. I'm just kidding. Yes, Ramon not going anywhere. Brendan Haywood also will join us to break down the Final Four. And it's interesting. Obviously, well, for those that know, that might be a certain age, he played at the same time Slay did in college, and they actually played against each other in the Sweet 16 as North Carolina beat Tennessee that day. And Slay told the story the other day about idle hands. And he said, for some reason, in that arena, the locker rooms were on the same tunnel. So, like, before the game, they were all in the same tunnel. And he said, and we were just standing there, and nobody was saying anything. So he said he started running his mouth. And Brendan Haywood's been on the show before and said that, that they did notice that. But I can't wait to ask him about Duke. You know, as a basketball analyst now, like, how easy or hard is it for him to break down Duke appropriately enough? So we'll talk about the Final Four with Brendan Haywood. He'll either be on at 4 or 5 o'clock. So all that coming up. 615-737-1045 if you want in. We do have room for phone calls for sure. And if you want to let us know what happened with you regarding last night's storms, if you had damage, we can certainly take that. or if you want to talk about football, Greg Cosell, again, coming up, Big Savagery coming up, so we can dive into that. Slay is out today. He is involved with ESPN tonight. It is the State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships from 6 until 8 o'clock on, as Dan Patrick used to call it, the mothership, ESPN. And Jay Billis is involved, Slay's involved. Like, this is a huge opportunity for him, and we're so happy for him and can't wait to watch again 6 to 8 p.m. The Kings Hawaiian Slam Dunk Contest, filled with smaller school guys, but there is a little local element to this. Murray State's Kylan Milton involved in the Slam Dunk Contest. I know Murray, Kentucky, and Katie's were dealing with tornadoes this week as well. But anyway, the E-Trade Three-Point Championship, couple of SEC guys, Cam Carter from LSU, Caleb Grill from Missouri involved in that. So that's coming up tonight at 6 o'clock. We will talk about the Joe Milton trade when we come back. And does that indicate what the value for Will Levis might be in terms of what was dealt in that trade? I think so. 615-737-1045. No, you can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch. Yell it. There she goes. I say that to say this. Ramon Foster is in the chat, so if you want to go congratulate him on the analyst role with Mike Keith and the Vol Network for UT football, you can do it. Again, he is staying here to do Ramon, Kalen, Will, Monday through Friday, 6 to 10. But Ramon asking for Mad Dog 2020 for some reason in the chat. I don't know where that's going, but I do remember college. FergusonHome.com is the website. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Ferguson Home is the presenting sponsor of 3HL, and we're so glad to partner with such a great company. And you guys need to check them out. They've got the new location in Mount Juliet, 401 South Mount Juliet Road. They're also in Nashville on Powell Avenue, Murfreesboro, New Salem Road, Clarksville, Dunbar Cave Road, Bowling Green, Lovers Lane. Hinkley Lighting, inspiring radiance in 2025 with exceptional lighting and ceiling fan products that are superior in design and quality for those contractors out there, interior designers, multiple project managers. Discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home. Stop into the showroom, any of the showrooms, and see and feel what you were looking for before the installation. Ferguson Home has the largest selection of products and the top brands to help you finish with a finished product that your client will love. Ferguson Home, check them out. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Slay Dog will be on ESPN tonight from 6 to 8. So if you are jonesing for a little Slay, you can see him on ESPN tonight for the Slam Dunk and 3-Point Championships coming up. That's going to be fun. And, I mean, isn't that a great choice by ESPN to include Slay in that event?
Yeah.
Right? Isn't that wheelhouse stuff for him?
Like, I'm pretty sure he's just made for it.
That's definitely true. 615-737-1045 if you want in. Again, Jackson, if you can help keep up with the weather situation, we need to get tornado warnings when they happen out there, and we will continue to monitor. Again, NashvilleSevereWeather.com is a great place for you to stay up to date with everything that's going on. And it's amazing, Dawn, you mentioned how you guys would go to the safe place. I know a lot of people are like that, but with the radar abilities that they have now, you can literally wait until, a few minutes. So, like, if you're worried about getting kids up and stuff, you have time to get them up and get into the safe space, I guess is what I'm saying. But when they start advising that, but they can point to street names and everything. It's crazy where we are. So, again, props to all the weather people on television in Nashville that stayed up all night dealing with that last night.
We appreciate you guys.
And I know there's lots of damage, so thoughts and prayers up for anyone affected by those storms last night, and we're not done. So we just want to continue that message. 615-737-1045. Again, Slay is now in the chat. So Slay and Ramon are in the chat. And you can follow along if you want to and communicate with other members of the 3HL family on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, or Twitch.
Twitch, please.
The Evan Bank chat is open. So former Tennessee quarterback Joe Milton traded from the Patriots to the Cowboys. Now, he said he grew up in a Cowboys.
What are the Cowboys doing?
That's their backup for Dak Prescott. It's not even a third guy role. Like, he's the backup to Dak Prescott. Okay. He said he grew up in a Cowboys family. Not that he grew up in Dallas, but he had Cowboy fans in his family. So he said it's always been a dream to play for them, and he's ready to go to work and all those things. But there are so many Cowboy fans out there. And I heard Buck and Lucas talking about, or maybe it was Ramon, Kale, and Will, that there's a Cowboy fan in like every family. And I thought that was interesting.
Yeah. I agree. I can see that.
This is Buck and it was Buck and Lucas.
It's either a Cowboy or a Redskins fan, right? Or not?
Steelers.
Commanders. Okay.
Steelers. NFC East, when, like, if you're of a certain age, back in the 80s and the 90s, NFC East was, that was something. But like growing up in Nashville, for example, and there's no NFL team here.
Yeah.
More times than not, the NFC game would include the Cowboys, and the AFC game would include the Steelers. So you typically, if you were in an NFL, a non-NFL market, you would grow up a fan of either one of those two.
Same with
and they hate each
baseball.
Other. Yeah.
Right.
Yankees, Red Sox, all these things.
Right.
Like,
Braves.
So, Braves, Cardinals, Cubs, Reds here. So when I was a kid, the Reds games were actually broadcast here on My TV 30, which was not called that then, but isn't that strange? Yeah. Like, good on them. They created a lot of Reds fans in Nashville. But like with the Cardinals, the Braves, and so the Braves were on TBS, the Cardinals were on KMOX radio, which went into 31 states, and people became fans of the Cardinals that way. But the Cubs obviously were on WGN.
Right.
But there were a lot of Reds fans in this market too. So all of those things were happening back then. But Cowboys Steelers was kind of the thing back then. So I get what Joe Milton was saying there. Buck and Lucas made the point that Kirby is kind of the Zone family member. That's the Cowboy guy.
Yep.
Randomly, because he grew up in Ohio.
We all have that one crazy one.
He grew up in Ohio. Like, how? I've never even asked Kirby why he was a Cowboys fan. Have you, Jackson? Do you know? I don't know.
The Browns were there. The Steelers even.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be a Cowboys fan?
The Browns were good when Kirby was growing up.
Nah.
Yeah,
how old is Kirby?
Kirby was old enough to experience the 70s Cowboys, which were exceptionally good. Yeah. And then if you're a generation later, a generation and a half maybe, you got the 90s Cowboys, which were 3 Super Bowls in 4 years. Will you call Kirby and get him on the phone?
Oh,
I want to ask him why he was a Cowboys fan. But Joe Milton said, anyway, he grew up that way, so he's dream come true. So here's the trade, and I want to see if you guys want to read into what Will Levis, like a trade for Will Levis, might get you. So the trade for Joe Milton, the Cowboys get Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick this year. The Patriots get a 5th-round pick this year. Milton himself was a 6th-round pick. So kind of a wash, I guess. But the Patriots got a 5th-rounder out of Joe Milton, who won 1 game. What could you get out of Levis? Is it a similar deal or is it better? Because
I think it's similar.
Let's dive into that in just a second, but I think we have Kirby on the line. Kirby, what's up? How are you, man?
Okay, what you got?
Well, hi, Kirby.
Here.
Well, number one, I guess we need to start with your reaction to your new backup quarterback, Joe Milton, who throws grenades at people.
Haven't really been following them. To be honest, since the combine, I mean, I've written them off because they're such buffoons. But
who are buffoons? The Cowboys? Your Cowboys?
Jerry, or the Cowboys as a whole?
Upper management, basically, and the coaching staff. So I thought I'd wait till they got into camp and see if there was any semblance of a football team there.
So the reason why we called you, I've never asked you why you or how you became a Cowboys fan. And I thought the reason why it came to me was because Joe Milton said that he was in a family of Cowboys fans. Not that they were from Dallas, and I started thinking about like people in non-NFL markets that are, in your generation, our generation, that didn't have a team in their city would grow up Cowboys or Steelers fans because those are the teams that were on typically every weekend. And so there are a lot of Cowboys fans everywhere, obviously, and they branded themselves America's team. But I'm just curious how you, growing up in Ohio, became a Cowboys fan.
Good question. Well, it's simple, really. In 1966, I, with my father, came with my grandparents to Nashville for my great-grandfather's funeral. We had driven down with my grandparents, but my grandfather had to stay to take care of stuff that needed to be attended to, whatever that was. So my father and I were going to fly home, and our flight was from Nashville to Cleveland. But the plane had trouble taking off because of landing gear issue. I guess, to my knowledge, the landing gear was flat, and they attempted to. We were delayed for a long time. Anyway, they then took us off that plane. I was 3.5. They took us off that plane and put us on the Cowboys flight going to Cleveland. So my dad recognized what was going on fairly quickly after we got on the plane, and was admonishing me to behave. I guess I was playing peekaboo with the person in a seat behind me. So when we take off, he said the seatbelt sign went off, and a guy reached over the seat to grab me, and he started to say, "Is he bothering you?" and was looking at Bob Lilly in the face and said, "He's all yours." And they played catch with me, and I got to be in the captain's quarters. He said he basically just saw me going by from, just being entertaining the players until right before we landed. They dropped me in my seat. I had the captain's hat on. They took the captain's hat, a flight attendant took the hat off and took it back to the captain's plane.
Wow.
We landed. We got off the plane. They went wherever they was going, and my dad and I went to get our suitcases. And what I remember about that is I remember waiting on a plane, getting in the plane. I remember really big people and having fun. I didn't have any recollection of what they were or who they were or what. I just remember I was having a blast and being completely and utterly amazed by the luggage belt as it came out of this chrome trimmed thing with luggage coming out, and just being fascinated by that. That was my extent. But as a result of that, throughout sports history as a child, anytime they were on television, my grandmother and or some other relative would go, "Hey, there's your Cowboys." And
well, and you just happened to go through those 70s Cowboys teams that were incredible.
Well, actually, it was kind of weird because I was torn because I had Tom Mack, who played for the Rams, another Hall of Famer. His mother was my homeroom teacher in a couple of classes in 6th and 7th grade. So I was pulling for the Rams, but I was, you know what I mean? And one of my best friends, who was also one of those sports rivals, was a Cowboys fan. So I wouldn't allow myself to root for them. because Troy was a Cowboys fan, and so we battled each other. But then, unfortunately, he passed away. He choked to death when we were 13.
Oh my gosh, Kirby.
Yeah, it's a weird long. Anyway, I'll wrap this up. So that was the year I broke loose and said I'm going back to Ohio. So I only gone back. I thought at 13 I had moved myself back to Ohio, which didn't turn out that way. But because I wasn't allowed to go up there for his funeral. But anyway, that's another story for another time. But so I'm sitting in Bucyrus in 1976 in August, and there's a preseason game on, and it's Dallas against Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
And I hated Pittsburgh anyway.
Yeah.
And I watched 10 minutes of it, and for that moment on, I never rooted for another NFL team ever unless they were playing against Pittsburgh or Washington.
There you go. You knew it wasn't going to be just I just picked the Cowboys.
No, it was.
There's always a story with
yeah,
Kirby.
Kirby's not a flippant person at all.
No.
There are reasons for everything. DHB on YouTube says Kirby is the most interesting man at the station and a great storyteller. Thank you, Kirby. I appreciate you breaking into your day and you allowing that opportunity
Thanks
to
for
us.
breaking up the monotony.
Thank you. Appreciate
Thanks,
it.
Kirby.
Be good.
How about that? So lots of people are commenting in the chat now.
Kirby.
Thank you, Kirby.
There's always a story.
There was a
Kirby.
funeral, a flight, being around the players. His 13-year-old best friend died from choking. Couldn't go to a funeral. I think out of love for his friend, maybe ended up a Cowboys fan, but he said it was because he hated the Steelers and they were playing a preseason game, and there you go. Wow. Karen says I was a Cowboys fan when Dandy Don Meredith was the quarterback.
Oh. Justin Brinkley, I was a child of the late 80s and 90s. Prior to the Titans, I was a Cowboys fan. I just threw up saying that out loud. I hate them now.
Cowboys are forever my side team, Duck Falling says.
The only thing I ever liked about the Cowboys were the cheerleaders. Laugh out loud. That's the other thing. Cowboy cheerleaders, Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders were a national brand way before any cheerleaders were a national brand. And they ran with it. And so I think that also upped their fan base.
Yeah, they sold entertainment. You know what I mean?
No doubt.
They took it to another level and kind of changed that world for all the teams. But back to Will Levis. How does this affect the Titans and Will Levis? So Joe Milton and a 2025 7th-round pick for a 5th-rounder. So the Cowboys give up a 5th-rounder.
And they get a 7th back.
Yeah, and Milton. Does this clue us into what a Levis deal might look like? So I started thinking about the Titans don't have a 3rd. Can they get a 3rd out of a Levis deal? Like, can you deal Levis in a 6th-round pick because they have 2 6th-round picks for a 3rd-rounder? And would you do it?
Now,
I would do it in a second. If I know I'm drafting Cam Ward, I would do it in a second.
You're asking if the Titans would do it. I'm
asking if you would do it, if you were the Titans.
Yes.
So Will Levis in a 6th for a 3rd.
Yes. Absolutely, I would do it.
I would do it in a second,
Just
too.
because, and it's not because I think Levis might be one of those guys that goes somewhere else and gets his mentals right and is actually a decent quarterback in this league. I really think that. I mean, I was sold on Levis in camp, right? Like the tangibles are there. The mental part of the game,
the
obviously,
arm talent
is not there. But the arm talent, the physique,
I think we learned a lot
ability.
I think we learned a lot during the Super Bowl just from talking to people. That I think and we've talked about this before, and I know you agree with me, but if he lets go of the thought in his head that he knows everything,
yep,
and can be coached and can take advice, I think all that is maturity. And
that's exactly what I was going to say.
And I think you're right. I think so. 3, 4, 5, how many years go by? But then I think, he will burst back onto the scene. And we've seen it with Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield.
Yep. Baker Mayfield is a great comparison, right?
He just talked about it, too. And for him, it was a God thing. He goes, my life was spiraling, man, and I needed the Lord. And it changed everything for him, is what he says.
Yeah. Well, and if you look at Baker, too, he was a chip on the shoulder kind of guy, very similar to Will Levis. And I just look at Levis and I'm like, there's a difference with the chip on your shoulder mentality, but still being willing to grow and take advice. And I feel like he hasn't quite gotten there. And he might not get there here. Sometimes you have to be in a new stop, in a new place. You need that fresh start to be able to change that, right? So that is why, if I'm the Titans, I'd be all about that deal to get a third. Now, let's talk about the other side. Do you see a team out there being willing to give up a third for a backup quarterback, A, and B, Will Levis?
You would have to investigate the backup quarterback situations around the league, and the Cowboys needed one, so that kind of made sense. So I don't think anybody's dealing for him to be a starter, but I think if you look around at the backup quarterback situations around the league, I think that's where you might be able to find a suitor. I'm just curious what people would take for Will Levis. I know I'm being aggressive trying to get a third-round pick out of him, but
super aggressive.
Yeah.
A third is pushing it.
Top tier on YouTube says I would take a sixth, LOL. So, I mean, seriously, like straight up without picks involved, because there was a pick involved in the Joe Milton deal, what would you take for him?
Just straight up.
Straight up, would it be a sixth or a fifth? I mean,
no.
Think about it. The Cowboys gave up a fifth for a guy that started one game and won it and kept the Giants from having the number one overall pick.
Also, well, maybe that's part of it.
In some way, shape, or form.
Yeah, also potential there with arm strength and whatever else. I mean, you can go around the same storyline with Levis. But Levis has also, that's more of hey, there might be potential there in a solid, give you what you need backup, right? With Levis, there's more of a body of work already for you to be able to analyze, which I think hurts your aggressive third round pick right now.
615-737-1045 at 3HL1045 on Twitter. Mbob said Kirby started his story with "It's simple, really," and it really wasn't simple.
That is always a Kirby story.
And
always.
Nothing is ever simple with Kirby.
Never. That's why by the end of a trip, me and him are at each other's throats.
Oh, yeah, I used to own a pizza shop. It's like random things about him.
Well, that's why...
In Donaldson. He owned a pizza shop in Donaldson.
That's why the truth according to Kirby actually happened, because everybody was like, there's no way that's true. And then everything is true.
That was great on the Midday 180. That was so good.
I mean, you never knew what was true. Like, all of them sounded ridiculous. And absolutely, there's always one that was dead on 100% true.
Well, and doing what we do, a lot of it is, your ability to be a good storyteller in a lot of cases, and he's one of the best.
Yeah.
He's a great storyteller. Justin says, I'd take a Diet Coke and a bag of Southwest peanuts for Levis to move on from here.
Jeez. Vandy Man 80, I'd take a Starbucks gift card for Levis. Wow. Okay, so these responses, and if you want to call in and join, 615-737-1045. But these responses show you the reaction and what it would be if the Titans do not draft a quarterback and march Will Levis out there as their starter again next year while trying to fill other holes. Do you know what this fan base will do? The heads will explode.
Vandyman AD says Southwest gives pretzels now. It's really dependent on which flight you get on. Like, Southwest gives out random things. Like, you never know which little snack they're going to give. You notice that? You're asleep a lot of times.
Yeah, I always sleep. But I do like the, it's like the pink bag pretzels that have a little season on it. Oh, those things are good.
Those things are so salty.
And they're good. Yeah.
Justin says, only thing free is Jesus. Everything else got a price. Give me that Diet Coke. Top tier says you got to get something for him. I don't see anyone giving more than a sixth or max fifth. But the Cowboys
the fifth is max.
The Cowboys gave a fifth for Joe Milton.
Okay, but it's also the Cowboys. And there's less of a body of work to go by. So you can look at Milton and say, oh, I can fix him. Or, oh, there's potential there. Oh, look what he did in the one game he won. Imagine if it were Levis after just that Falcons game.
So him having where he threw 4 touchdown passes and looked great.
Yep.
And he was sitting on the sideline just smiling. like looking around. Remember that shot of him just like looking around the stadium? Like, I can't believe this is happening.
Oh, man. Do you think he wants to go back to that?
The good old days.
Yeah.
The good old days. But I get like people locally, get a certain opinion about a guy that's here. But seriously, if Joe Milton's worth a fifth, take your Titans hat off. What is Will Levis worth? 615-737-1045. Also, when we come back, there's another player getting hit by an anonymous scout. Man.
Lion season, baby. I love it.
Just like Burton, who's fallen down the draft boards because of an anonymous scout's opinions. It's happening to another player. We'll tell you next. 3HL 1045 The Zone.
What's happening, good people? KellumStemCellInstitute.com. Head over there, get that inflammation about your body. You probably like aches and pains. Yeah, I was just going to take a leave or Advil or something to get inflammation out of your body, but you're going to be doing it over and over and over and over and over again. That stuff, man, eats at you internally, and you already have the cure inside of you. All you got to do is harvest it. That's right. Your body, your cells, your solution. Harvest your body's stem cells and store them for future and continued use. Now, these cells are your body's healing cells, harvested and redeployed based on your needs. Stem cells attack inflammation in the body, and we know that all autoimmune disorders are derived from inflammation, whether it's congestive heart failure, lung issues, arthritis, autism, either one, it doesn't matter. 615-850-4415. That's the number you need to hit up. 615-850-4415. Talk to Dr. Kellum directly. Sit down with him. Only can do that at KellumStemCellInstitute.com.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Again, a tornado warning for parts of Rutherford County, Murray County, and Williamson County. We'll keep you updated as we continue to go through the show. Hail involved in all three counties in this cell going through right now. 615-737-1045. I think we're checking in with Slay Dog down in San Antonio. Slay, what's up? How are you?
What's happening, y'all? What's going on up there? Everybody staying safe, hopefully?
Yes, hopefully. We're doing the best we can. Thoughts and prayers to everyone affected by the storms last night. I know there's damage in the area, and they're trying to figure out everything, like how many tornadoes and what the severity was and all of those things. But we do know that there are 4 fatalities in the state of Tennessee so far. Again, the situation is currently right now, and a tornado warning just issued for parts of Rutherford, Murray, and Williamson County. So stay weather aware out there. Yesterday, you didn't have a real good vibe about San Antonio, and I've heard nothing but good things about that town. And suddenly they're on the Nathaniel list, according to you. Have you been able to find anything better in the last 24 hours?
Well, I got to link with a couple of my partners, and we went out, had a nice dinner, found it with Chris, went there and had a good meal from them. Nice tender steak, and then moseyed on down by the Riverwalk for a second and found me a nice cigar bar. So
there you go.
Yeah. The night was cool last night. It was cool. It still remains to be seen. Like, you can do that anywhere. I will say, Babs, to your point, a lot more people were trickling in because the teams arrived yesterday, so that made it a little bit more cool as far as the pop that I was looking for in the city. So
okay,
we'll
there
see.
You go.
We'll see.
So how is this event going to go? What is this? What are we going to see tonight? 6 to 8 on ESPN, State Farm College Slam Dunk and 3-point championships. And you're involved in the broadcast, which is a no-brainer for us. But what are we going to witness tonight, 6 to 8?
Man, we're going to find we got 3 teams that's competing in a hot shot. I was trying to, bargain for us as the analysts to be able to press a button and we kind of get inserted into the game, but nobody kind of was with that with me. But you got the hot shot, and then you have the dunk contest starting off, and then the 3-point contest with the women. Got some great shooters in it. Aaliyah Nye from Alabama is my favorite. That's what I'm rolling with. But you got some really good shooters in it. Then you got the men's also. Be SEC home run. This one I'm going with Caleb Grill and Cam Carter from LSU in Missouri. So that's what I'm leaning to. Then we'll finish back up with the championship of the dunk contest at the end of the night before we sign on off. But I do have the headbands on deck. We will have the sleigh. The sleigh ride gang will be in effect somewhere in the stadium. So I'm gonna make sure they're around, making a lot of noise, creating a lot of chaos. Iceman George Gervin's judging the contest.
Wow, okay.
Grant Hill is judging the contest, and then Sean Elliott and Jay Billis. So
okay, so you're not judging, you're commentating.
Oh yeah, no, I'm on the judge. I'll be on the desk during the dunk contest, but the 3-point contest, the hot shot, and all the rest of the activities, I'll be roaming around talking to the players in the crowd.
Oh, that's awesome.
doing big slate type things. I might be at the concession stand. That's what they got to keep an eye on.
I mean, typically, like anywhere we go out with you, you end up with a microphone in your hand, walking around and talking anyway. Like
exactly, it's like being on a 3HL remote. So I mean, this sounds like a great time to me. This is San Antonio.
Remember Buck's bowling event a couple of years ago? You ended up with the microphone walking around, and then Coach Mack took it from you.
That was a
Coach
good
Mack,
idea.
how dare you?
No. It was time.
Babsy.
It was time for that mic to get out of your hand.
So, that's going to be fun. Real quick, tornado warning for Spring Hill now. Estimated time around 3:50 p.m. That is right now. So if you're in Spring Hill listening to us, get in your safe place. Nolensville around 4:05 p.m. We will continue to try to update you as best we can as we roll through today's situation. Nashville severe weather tweeting out, Nash Severe WX, dangerous tornado warned, supercell moving through Spring Hill right now, shelter.
Wow.
Southern Williamson County, Thompson Station, Fairgrounds, Page High School, McKay's Mill, Sullivan Farms, shelter now. Trying to keep up with these texts, these tweets are coming really quickly, and also the
crazy
flash flood warnings that are in effect as well, and lots of running water and ponding and all those things. So stay away from those deals. So I was looking at the slam dunk contest, Slay, the King's Hawaiian slam dunk. You need to come back with a bunch of King's Hawaiian rolls. Those are amazing.
Please, those are so good.
Dude, that's LeBron's favorite. He calls them holiday bread.
Yes, that's exactly. What a great call right there, because we only get them over Thanksgiving in my house.
Yeah, that's what we any holiday. That's why he calls them holiday bread.
Yep.
That's so funny. I just happened to buy some the other day, so I've got it at my place. But
I need to add that to the grocery list.
So the slam dunk contest filled with smaller school guys, but Murray State's Kylan Milton is involved, so a little local angle there.
That is his first dunk, man. A little tidbit, a little nugget. His first dunk was in the 8th grade, so this man he's been dunking for quite some time. My favorite, though, man, I'm gonna be real. It's from Norfolk State. Christian Ings. He's a guy. He's Christian. Probably about he made SEC top 10 plays twice in the same night. Number 1 and number 3. So this ought to be interesting to watch him. I think he's about 6'1". That's one. And then we got a special guest with McNeese State's. I forgot his name, but he's coming out with Amir Khan, the basketball manager that went viral, that has the NIL and stuff. So he's bringing him out with the boom box and things of that nature. So it'll be an event. That'll be a cool little event. But those are my two favorites from McNeese State. And Christian Ings is who I'm picking to win it from Norfolk State.
Babsy, you fell in love with that McNeese State trainer that went viral.
I would send y'all everything.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, now he's making this money. Look, now he's making this money.
He's following Will Wade to NC State.
Of course he is. I mean, it's smart. Hey,
I get to take that NIL with him.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I was remembering when you brought up the Murray State guy, his first dunk was in 8th grade. I remember when I think I was covering Iowa State, and I forget the edge guy's name. It was a couple years ago. Do you remember I called you because I was like, okay, this kid first dunked in like 7th grade. Is that a big deal? Like, what do we, just talking about his wingspan and all that. And so I remember asking you, when was your first dunk? And now I can't remember.
Yeah, my first one with the tennis ball was 8th grade.
That's right.
My first one real in game was 9th grade. But
that's right.
So we got another guy. I think it's the kid from the young man from McNeese State. He dunked in the 5th grade and has the footage. It's just so grainy on the camera that it was taken on. We're not going to be able to air it. But
that stinks. Grade. I would want to see it even grainy.
Right. I'm going to find his Instagram, and I'm going to send it to you, Babs. They said 5th grade. Like, who's dunking in the 5th grade?
How tall was he? Or did he just have ups?
He wasn't even that tall. He just had bounce.
Holy moly.
I remember talking to Frigi about first dunk, and he said his was in the 10th grade. So you had him beat there, but he said he was coming down on a 2-on-1 and the guard threw an oop to him, and he was like, I couldn't believe how high I was. And he said, I guess I better just throw this down. And so he did.
Well, sometimes, a lot of times, you can't palm the ball, right? And that's why you can't dunk earlier. Like, you could get up there, but you can't palm.
Right. See, I didn't learn until I got to 9th grade that, man, they told me, put your wrist in the basket. And that's how you would dunk if you didn't palm. So it made sense.
Tornado warning until 4:15 for southern Williamson County. That has been issued. So we'll continue to update you as best we can. Again, Nash Severe WX on Twitter, a great location for you. So have you decided if you're going to go to the Final Four? I know you've never been, and you wanted the first time to be Tennessee involved, but you are in San Antonio this weekend. You going to do it? Yeah,
so this is the thing. That's Friday we'll be on court doing the practices, and then Saturday we'll be pregame, postgame. Sunday we'll do a whole little bit on the SEC Network, and then Monday pregame, the postgame of the national championship. So I will be in the building, suited and booted.
I love it, Slay. What an incredible opportunity, man. Very, very happy for you. By the way, Todd Furman yesterday, all in on Houston.
That's
against
interesting,
Duke.
Man. That's
money line.
Interesting. Wow, really?
Well, he said 5.5, but sprinkle money line, and he thinks that they have
I would take money line.
Yeah, but he loves the point spread. Sprinkle the money line. He thinks Houston's going to win.
I think their advantage is they're a veteran group and they are physical. Like it's almost a fight on the basketball court without holding the emotions of a fight. So it's like, let's go and get it in. But I will say, this is what we were talking about in, backstage. Man, Duke ain't no punk.
That's right.
Like Cooper Flag, he's no punk. The big fella, I forgot how you say his name. But he's the big 7-footer. He's a problem down there. You got James is a problem. So the front court, that matchup is going to be serious. How do the guards respond? Like Tyrese Proctor, we get to see how tough those guys are. Knipple, are they tough enough to handle L.J. Cryer and all of these guys? So it's going to be a battle, man. It's a battle. They got to lace their boots up real tight for this one.
So I love to pair his analytics with your eyeball test. And so one of the things that he brought up was that Duke has only played one team with a deficiency number inside the top, a defensive number inside the top 20 since January 1st, and that was Clemson. This is the one game they've lost.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, guess what, though? And that was a veteran group, a skilled group. And they kind of lost towards I've been saying this all year. They lost towards the end of the game. Even though Clemson made runs throughout the game, like it was towards the end of the game where they just kind of lost it. But you got to think that was then, and the maturation of what they've been through this tournament and the way Cooper Flag is playing. Like he's much better than he was then too. So this stage right here, this is the elite versus the elite.
Nash Severe WX tweeting out, classic presentation of a supercell thunderstorm with rotation at low levels. Not a sure thing, but absolutely something you should shelter for. Headed from Williamson County Fair northeast toward Nolensville currently right now with that storm cell. That is a crazy thing that I don't think is being talked about enough is Cooper Flag should be a high school senior right now.Uld you imagine that dude playing high school basketball right now?
Yeah, that would be tough. I mean, you see a lot of people, reclassifying, man. But when you see a guy with this size and this skill that's able to do it, that's what changes it. That makes it totally different. He's a I want to say generational athlete. It remains to see how it transitions to the NBA, but right now on this level, that's top notch.
Slay, on the way out, and I know we're late. Zeph would have been all over us. I just noticed the clock.
Oh,
Jackson.
my gosh. Jackson, you gotta yell at us.
But your brother is the analyst for Mike Keith on the Vol Network. He's staying here. We need to reiterate that on 104.5 The Zone. But for Vol football, he will be the analyst with Mike Keith on the Vol Network. That's such a cool opportunity.
Man, great opportunity. Congrats to Savage, man. Grinded up for this one right here, and there's nothing like being able to go back home and call your games in the school and the field that you played for. That's one of the dopest things they're on.
Thank you, Slay. Hey, good job, and we'll be watching tonight. Have fun.
All right, there's a lot of war dams running around down here too, Babs.
Oh, you know there are. Let's go.
He's wearing an Auburn shirt right now.
I am wearing my orange and blue from here on out.
I love it.
See you, Slay.
War Eagle, Slay.
Yep.
All right, there
Have
he is.
fun.
He's Ron Slay. All right, more 3HL when we come back. Some weird measurements in pro days that differ consistently
This is a
from
weird story.
the NFL Combine. We got that for you next. If you want in, 615-737-1045. I want to tell you about my friends at Brentwood Jewelry, 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road, BrentwoodJewelry.com. These are your guys for any of your jewelry needs, any of your gifting responsibilities. Mother's Day coming up. Also, graduations. For more than 50 years, Brentwood Jewelry has been proudly serving the Brentwood community and Middle Tennessee with exceptional style and exceptional deals every day. As a family-owned and operated business spanning 3 generations, they are deeply rooted within this community, from Salem's service in the Special Forces to his son serving as local firefighters. The Imamali family is dedicated to giving back. Support local. Shop Brentwood Jewelry. Brentwood Jewelry here to help you pop the question. If you're thinking about that big moment, let them help you take the stress out of selecting the perfect engagement ring. They can help you find a beautiful ring in your ideal budget. Browse their incredible selections of one-of-a-kind rings, or talk with their custom design specialists to create a stunning ring as remarkable as your loved one. If you haven't already heard, Nashville's premier timepiece dealer is Brentwood Jewelry. Incredible selection of watches, including pre-owned Rolexes. You can check them out online. Again, 7012 Church Street in the heart of Brentwood, just off Franklin Road. As I said, online, BrentwoodJewelry.com. Exceptional style, exceptional deals every day for more than 50 years. Visit BrentwoodJewelry.com.
What's happening, y'all? This is an important message from my good friends over at Bart Durham Injury Law. So you're getting these accidents and, you're sitting at home and you're getting bills. They're starting to pile up. You're thinking to yourself, man, what am I going to do? How am I going to do it? How do I attack this? Well, I got something for you. Bart Durham Injury Law, that's where Blair and the family step in. His team will go out and fight for you. That's what they do. That's what they've been doing. Why would they stop now? You just need to know this number, 615-242-9000. So while all of this is happening, and if someone calls you while you're sitting there, while these bills are stacking up, they call you after wreck, they're breaking the law. I bet you didn't know that. That's right. They are lawyers. There are lawyers out there breaking the law. Blair and the team at Bart Durham Injury Law, they don't play those type of games. When you make the call, they answer. They're local, trusted, and ready to fight. No gimmicks, just a team that's on your side from the start. So if you or someone you love is ever in a wreck, remember Blair's number, 615-242-9000. That's 615-242-9000. Local, trusted, ready to fight for you.
It is 4:05. Good afternoon from the 104.5 The Zone Studios. I'm Jackson Williams. In the NFL, the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to terms on a 2-year extension after a blockbuster trade with the Seahawks sent Smith to Vegas earlier this offseason. Smith had a 29-25 record with the Seahawks before the trade and was a 2-time Pro Bowler and the 2022 AP Comeback Player of the Year. This extension keeps him tied to Vegas for the next 3 seasons. In other NFL news, former UT quarterback Joe Milton has been traded from the Patriots along with a 7th-round pick to the Cowboys for a 5th-rounder. Milton was a 6th-round pick himself in the 2024 draft. He played in one game in his rookie season, completing 22 of 29 passes for 241 yards and a touchdown. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. There she is. She's Babsy.
Let's go.
We're jumping right in here.
Yes.
Jackson producing the show today.
Everybody stay safe.
Nash Severe WX. Tornado warning being reissued. Nashville Weather Service confident in rotating wall could happen with this storm. It could produce a tornado. Please seek shelter in Southeast Williamson. That is the, let's see, is that the latest?
Oh, there we go.
Does the stream get this too? Would we be talking over this? So if you're on the stream, the National Weather Service has taken over the radio for right now. When tornado warnings are issued, that's what happens. Jackson just told us that when this happens, it's silent on the stream and that we can talk with y'all. We will do our best to continue to talk about sports and work these warnings in because this is very important. And, we had a rough night last night, obviously, all the way to, 5:30, 6 in the morning, somewhere in there. And then we're dealing with flooding all day today in a lot of locations. So a lot of y'all are dealing with things. I know Babs has been on her phone with her husband because of the storm that was moving toward Nolensville. And so the conditions are right. So even if there's not a tornado on the ground, they can pop up real quickly. That's what happened last night, as a matter of fact. So we'll do our best to continue to talk about sports, but also keep you guys safe as we roll through a situation this afternoon where conditions are right for very, very powerful storms. You can watch the show. Obviously, you know that. YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch if you want to spread the word. Lots of new people moving into the area. We appreciate you accepting that responsibility for us. Again, tornado warnings out there. We'll try to talk sports and also keep you updated in terms of severe weather. And if you want to call and let us know what you're seeing, that can be very helpful to people that are listening. I know people in Babsy, was it Spring Hill that were sending us pictures?
Yep.
Again,
Spring Hill, and Jay DeWeese in the chat said, I live in Spring Hill, see 2 or 3 funnels from the distance, and then even got a picture on Twitter from...
Yeah, be careful with that. Keep it at a distance.
Somebody, James said, my kids just sent me this photo looking towards Spring Hill, Thompson Station area, and
it's a wedge tornado.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear in that picture. Again, be careful doing that. And if you're in the line of these storms, certainly get into an interior room.
Anthony, another one
a
on
bathtub,
Twitter. And
be safe. If you've got bike helmets, those
Spring
help.
Hill.
Kid bike helmets help. I've randomly got a Houston Oilers and a Titans football helmet.
Put those on.
That's what's utilized at my place. So, we will do our best.
Here's our picture from last night of Hadley and her frozen, baby Babs in her frozen bike helmet. So
Zeph did let us know that he slept through the storms last night.
Shocker.
I was up texting your husband, texting Trey Hartsook with Ticket Sturf and Landscape Supply, and texting Slay. Slay woke up in San Antonio in the middle. Like, it was like 4:30 in the morning, and Slay's like, hey, what's up, y'all?
Yeah.
And he said that his family was well aware of what was going on and that they were being safe. But again, if you want to let us know what you're seeing, that could be helpful. 615-737-1045. I mentioned a former college football player that is a pretty high wide receiver draft prospect that is getting the same kind of treatment from an anonymous source. And the anonymous source says he's an NFL scout. And it's Isaiah Bond from Texas.
Oh, here we go.
And so there are like lots of, and I'm always skeptical about these rumors because it's you always wonder about things like that, like who does it benefit?
Mm-hmm.
And so
it benefits the teams that are hoping that those players will drop.
That's exactly right. And Isaiah Bond came from Alabama, then he went to Texas. His production wasn't really there. Last year, he's wide receiver number 3 in terms of production, actually behind a wide receiver and a tight end, but both will be drafted high. This piece says Bond ran a 4.39 40 at the NFL Combine with a 1.51 10-yard split. It would have been a fantastic result had Bond not discussed breaking the all-time record. He came nowhere close. Remember, I forgot about that. He said he was going to break the 40 record at the Combine.
Oh, that's right.
And he ran a 4.39. From Buford, Georgia, never measured in at an undersized 5'11 and 180 with small hands, 8.5 inches. An anonymous scout allegedly described Bond as just generic boilerplate, selfish diva wide receiver before conceding, but God, he has an incredible skill set.
Oh my gosh. Say that beginning part again. Is that even...
Just generic boilerplate, selfish diva wide receiver.
Okay.
But God, he's got an incredible skill set.
Wow.
You got to watch what these guys say, man. Got to watch what these guys say. 615-737-1045. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to...
Aren't all wide receivers divas? Isn't it just a given?
Yes, I think that's very true. Like
I feel like you have to be to have the mentality you need for that position in this league.
You hate to talk in generalizations, but
right.
I think that's kind
of goes with the position. I mean,
definitely one
same
that
as DB,
works out.
right?
Yeah. Here's another one. Nash severe weather. Lots of photos of potential rotating wall. Could be moving into the area just south of Nolensville. Tornado warning in effect for another 20 plus minutes. We will keep you updated. When we come back, Greg Cosell from NFL Films. We're going to talk about running backs and tight ends. Next, 3HL 104.5 The Zone.
So maybe you've seen the videos out there from my friends over at Two Rivers Ford. Well, guess what? They have a huge announcement for you. Just in, Two Rivers Ford is now offering employee pricing for everyone. So what does that mean? That means you pay what they pay on almost every new Ford on the lot. And at Two Rivers Ford, what you see is always what you get. They don't do things like add in expensive accessories or tack on service packages to increase the price of the vehicles. Two Rivers Ford, upfront and honest every single time for you. And now they're offering you their employee pricing. No better time to buy American, and there's no better dealership than Two Rivers Ford. We own Two Rivers Ford vehicles in my household, and I can attest to that. Locally owned and operated for over 40 years, home of the non-commissioned sales team, and now home of employee pricing for everyone from America for America. That's Two Rivers Ford, the South's most trusted Ford dealer.
3HL 104.5 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Stay weather aware out there. Tornadoes are in the area. So this is another day. We all dealt with it last night. And we're getting pictures and videos from Spring Hill of very obvious funnel clouds. Apparently the storm headed toward Nolensville. So just be weather aware out there. Wow, here's an incredible video of what looks like a very defined wedge tornado from Spring Hill. Again, that storm was headed toward Nolensville. Tornado warned storm crossing into Nolensville 3 minutes ago, near Nolensville High School, Burke Hollow, then out of the county toward Laverne. Stay tuned. Again, Nash Severe WX is a great Twitter follow. Those guys are live as well. All right, let's do what we do. Every Thursday at 4:20, Greg Cosell joins us now. Jackson, you have him. Greg, what's up? How are you?
What's up, kids? How we doing?
Hey, Cosell, it was a long night. We got storms rolling through Middle Tennessee. Yeah.
I heard tornadoes. God, it seemed like years ago tornadoes didn't really happen. Now it seems like they happen every day.
Oh, they happen here all the time. And it's tough here because it's so hilly and there are trees everywhere, so you don't really see them, and they tend to happen at night. But now we're dealing with them. We dealt with them all night last night. Now we're dealing with them again today. So, again, want everyone to stay aware that there are tornadoes in the area, and we will keep you updated as best we can. Greg Cosell from NFL Films joins us every Thursday at 4:20. And, Greg, we were talking this morning about having a discussion about running backs and tight ends. Running back, a deep position group in this draft, it looks like.
Yeah, it is deep. I mean, it'll be interesting to see how they get drafted because, conventional wisdom over the last number of years was that you don't really take running backs relatively high unless you see them as really, really special. But, last year was an odd year in the NFL, and we don't know whether it was just a snapshot or a trend, but 5 or 6 backs last year had over 300 carries, the first time that happened in a very, very long time. So, again, we don't know because it's 1 year whether there'll be some kind of cyclical change because the NFL game is very cyclical in terms of the tactics, or whether it was just a 1 year thing. So if teams are going to run the ball more, and then the running back position becomes a little more important. It's always easy for people to say you can get a running back in the 6th round, and obviously you can. You can certainly get a lot of players in later rounds that turn out to be good players. But there's always a reason why players are ranked as they are. And, you probably prefer to draft someone you have higher rated than lower rated.
I said on the show the other day, I had a dream that running backs were not created equal. And that the Titans traded back and took.
Hey, Brent, I really don't want to discuss your dreams if that's okay.
My dreams are weird. I had a dream the Titans traded back and took Ashton Genty at running back. Your text was funny in response, and that I need better dreams. But
seriously.
But talk about the player. Ashton Genty, obviously a record breaker in college football, a superstar, going to go high in this draft. Fit will be important, obviously, for him. But how fun was it to evaluate his tape?
Yeah, I mean, he's a fun guy to watch. I mean, I would say ultimately that his best trait, his elite trait to me, is his contact balance. He's got a very low center of gravity. He's not very tall. He's got core strength, leg drive. He absorbs hits. It's almost as if he pinballs off of hits. And when he absorbs those hits, there's almost no balance and body control disruption. So he maintains his momentum through these hits and through traffic. And so therefore he's both a sustaining back and he does have big playability. He didn't run a 40. My guess is he's not fast the way we think of fast. Like I would bet he'd probably be more of a 4 or 5 guy, but that's okay. So yeah, he's a very good prospect. I know a lot of people view him as, one of the best running backs, if not the best in years. But to me, and I think he's a really good prospect, but I don't think he's at the same traits level as Bijan Robinson when he came out a few years ago.
That's interesting.
Okay.
You do notice the ability to absorb hits, though. That is kind of like a pinball going between the tackles.
Yeah, no, that's his elite trait. Is he has really, really good contact balance. And I don't know if that's something you can teach a back. I think you either have that or you don't. And that's his elite trait. And look, he's got a lot of other elite, high level traits. I don't want to use the word elite for everything because no one's elite in 5 different things. But I would say some other things that stood out. He had a very desirable combination of both patience and tempo, but yet decisiveness at the right time. So, no, he's just a really, really good back. He's certainly not in terms of, I think, deployment. Maybe I'd be totally wrong. Like, I wouldn't put him in the Saquon Barkley category. Barkley weighs, 230 pounds. Genty is he's not small. He didn't do anything at the combine, but he's 5'8" and a half, 211. So he's very compact.
Thick thighs. By the way, tornado warning that was in place has now been canceled. So those storms hit cooler air, is what they're saying, and dissipated. So that's the current situation. We will keep you updated. Greg Cosell with us from NFL Films.
All right, continuing the running back conversation, a guy I saw this year thought was super impressive. North Carolina's O'Marion. I think it's O'Marion.
O'Marion Hampton.
Hampton, yeah. What do you think?
I really liked his tape a lot. It's funny. Sometimes you watch tape and it's not an X and O thing. It's just you look at a guy and I watched him and I watched him last summer as well. And then, of course, I watched him this year and I just came away thinking this guy looks like an NFL back to me. He's got size. He's got burst. He's got speed. He's got physicality. He's got power. He's got a physical presence. See, that's something that, as I said, is not really an X and O thing, but you just feel it when you watch it back. He has a physical presence as a runner. And I came away watching him feeling that he could handle a heavy workload, that he could be a tempo setter for an offense. So I really liked Hampton. And I felt also watching him, of course, I don't know what's in his head, Dawn, but I felt like he had a foundation back mentality. Yeah. And I remember hearing LaDainian Tomlinson talk a number of years ago, and he talked about the mentality of being a guy that is a foundation back, because there's a 4-quarter element to that every single week. And I just felt watching Hampton, as I said, I don't know what's in his head, but I just felt he was that kind of guy.
Kent on YouTube said, can you ask Cosell about Tootin from Virginia Tech and R.J. Harvey?
Yeah, Tootin I haven't done as much work on as I'd like, so I'm unfortunately going to have to leave him alone. But Harvey, I have seen. I kind of like R.J. Harvey, and I actually want to do more work on him because he's another guy. He's short. He's 5'8", 205. He ran really well. He's got, those shorter guys have those compact frames, but he's got really good shiftiness at the first and second levels of the defense. He has that make you miss element to him. I thought he had a really good sense of pace and tempo, sort of that wait and see approach to where he wanted to go, with calculation and intent. So what you get with those guys is they're patient, but then they're decisive at exactly the right moment. He's more of a darter than a slasher, than sort of a loose-hipped, shifty guy. But he's got a really strong lower half, and contact balance was one of his better traits as well. And he had a stiff arm on one play that he just dropped the defender. So I kind of like R.J. Harvey. I'm actually going to do a little more work on him.
Okay.
Greg Cosell, at Greg Cosell on Twitter. Babs, what about your Auburn guy, Jarquez Hunter?
I love Hunter. You haven't done him.
I didn't do him. No, I'm trying to remember if I did him last summer. I'm looking. I don't think I did.
Okay.
I did not do him.
I thought we had talked about him, but is there a reason you didn't do him? You just
didn't get to him yet. I mean, I'm doing every position, Dawn. So it's, there's so many guys. I mean, and defense takes a long time to do, because defensive guys, you have to watch whole games and multiple games. Defensive guys, you can't watch a highlight and you can't watch one game. You have to sit and watch 75 plays, 4 or 5 games, or that's the way I do it. And depending on who it is, I might watch 6 or 7 games. And, this is on the coaching tape. So, it's multiple shots of the same play. So it just takes a lot of time. So Hunter, because he's not high on a list, I haven't gotten to him yet, so, and the other thing too, is sometimes I try to maximize what I watch. So if it's, let's say, a running back, sometimes I'll go with guys that maybe have an offensive lineman as well, because then I could see the offensive lineman run block, so I try So a lot of guys I get to late, closer to the draft that are sort of one-off guys.
Anybody else that you have watched that we didn't hit on that sticks out that you either liked or didn't like?
Oh, well, there's a lot of running backs. I mean,
I know.
They're different. They're different. See, that's the thing about running backs. They're different. I really like Trevion Henderson from Ohio State.
Yep.
I'm not sure if he's a true feature back in the way we think of feature backs that's going to carry, 270 times. But you never know. I mean, look what Tony Pollard has done the last 2 years.
Yeah.
And I guarantee when he came out of college, no one would have said he was that guy. So you never know. Henderson is an explosive guy, and he's a really good receiver and a ridiculous pass protector. I mean, he just lays people out. So Henderson's going to play a lot, whoever drafts him. So he's a guy that I really, really liked. Let's see. I'm trying to think about. Oh, here's a guy that I did that I really like, and I personally think this guy could be a foundation back in the league. Now you're getting into team and scheme. It depends on the team.
For sure.
I really like Damian Martinez at the University of Miami. He is truly a physical back. I mean, he runs through and over people, and he's got lighter feet than you might think. So he's a back that really stood out to me. I actually did him last summer when he was at Oregon State, and then this year, of course, he played at Miami. He doesn't carry a ton. He doesn't have a ton of tread on his tires. So I really like this kid.
By the way, I'm looking out the window across division, and the clouds are circulating very slowly, but it is a weird thing to see.
It's creepy.
Again, tornado warnings have been canceled. I'm getting Jackson's opinion about what I'm looking at here. And now they've kind of, they're still kind of circulating real slowly over there. Greg, what about record-setting running back Dylan Sampson from Tennessee?
Yeah, I did do Dylan Sampson. Sampson, he was a guy I kept watching because I just wasn't sure. I think that he has some really good traits. I mean, he has an innate feel for the patience and discipline demanded in gap scheme concepts. He allowed his blocks to define really, really well. I thought he had good vision. He had short area burst. He hit the hole with velocity. I mean, there's a lot to like about him. He's not really a big back. I'm not sure what his deployment will be at the next level. That's one question I have. What will he be at the next level? I'm not sure. Is it possible that he could end up being similar? I don't know. I'm just throwing this out to a Bucky Irving with the Bucks last year, who had a really, really good season and is less than 200 pounds. So I don't know. But Sampson clearly has some really positive traits. I mean, he's obviously got quick, light feet. He was the SEC Offensive Player of the Year, obviously, and he was voted that by the coaches, which, to me, that always says more because it's the coaches really know. I kept going back and forth on him as to what he could be in the league, because that's the way you got to think about it. It's not what they did in college. It's what are they going to be in the league? Yeah. And, I wasn't sure. So, he's one of those guys. He'll play for sure. He will absolutely play. But I'm just not sure what his role will be because his size is he's 5'8", 5'8" and an eighth, 200 pounds. Yeah. I don't know if he ran a 40 at his pro day. He did not run a 40 at the combine.
He did. I can't remember what it was, though. I'll look it up while we're talking.
Obviously, it wasn't anything that was great to talk about or not good. Yeah, it didn't hurt or help, right?
Let's go to tight ends. Who is the best guy? Who has the best tight end tape? Is it Tyler Warren from Penn State?
Oh.
Well, now we're getting into guys that are different. I mean, Tyler Warren is really a good prospect. The kid from Michigan, Colston Loveland, he looks like a big, wide receiver, so he's different than Warren and would probably be deployed differently in an NFL offense. Then you have Mason Taylor from LSU, who really was not deployed at LSU in a way that I think he can be deployed in the league because he can move. And they didn't really use him that much as an intermediate and vertical dimension. And I think he has that ability. And then the kid who really fascinates me is Elijah Arroyo from the University of Miami, who's really kind of a one-year player. But he is the true vertical dimension in this tight end class. Not as good a prospect as Colston Loveland from Michigan, but Arroyo is a really fascinating guy to me. So, there'll be tight ends who are drafted. Warren and Loveland for sure will go in the first round. It's very possible Warren could go in the top 10. He's got that kind of ability, and I think that could well happen. But and Loveland is a guy that, depending on what teams think of Loveland and how they see him, because Loveland is a really, really good receiver. I mean, a really good receiver, and you can line him up anywhere. And because he went to Michigan, he was asked to block. Mm-hmm. And while he's not the best blocking tight end in the class, he worked at it. He tried. And that's all you can ask, because you can teach a guy technique and fundamentals and where to place his hands and where to place his feet. But as long as he's willing to block, then I think you've got something. And he's certainly willing to block.
4.42 for Dylan Sampson at his pro day. 4.42
is what it was.
Yep.
Okay.
4.42. So again, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Because look, in the NFL, how many 60-yard touchdown runs do you see? I mean, Barkley had a ton this year. That was kind of an aberration, but you normally don't see 60-yard touchdown runs in the NFL. You see a lot more of those in college football.
Can we go back to Warren just a little bit and how they utilized him?
Yeah.
Just because I remember listening to coaches prior to working that Penn State playoff game, and the OC was like, I could tell him, hey, you're gonna line up as a wide receiver on this play, and this is what it's gonna look like, and it'd be like, okay, done. Like never had. I mean, he just got it right. So just the way they utilized him. What did you see, and what is his kind of versatility there?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a ton of versatility. I mean, he was deployed in multiple ways in the Penn State offense, including even being a Wildcat quarterback, because he was a quarterback in high school, believe it or not. So, so he was used in multiple ways. And I think that he's going to only get better, to be honest with you. He's a multi-location tight end, even lined up at what we call boundary X, meaning the single receiver to the short side of the field. He's a mismatch versus both linebackers and safeties, much like a George Kittle. I don't think he's quite the blocker Kittle is at this point. You didn't see him run many routes versus tight or press man coverage. At this point, I would say the tape does not show him necessarily being a big-time separator versus man coverage, but he was physical at the top of his route stem, but he's got great hands. He's got an imposing ability to make contested catches. The contact did not bother him at all. And that's an important thing, to be able to make those kinds of catches. I think he'll become, again, you never know year one in the NFL. It's different for everybody. But I think that he's got what it takes to develop into one of the better tight ends in the NFL. With that versatility, Dawn, that you mentioned, he can line up anywhere.
Yeah. In our chat, Dane Ryder wanted to know about the Arizona State running back, Cam Scatterbo.
Oh, yeah. Scatterbo is a fun guy to watch. His athletic testing numbers were actually very good, but he doesn't play like a great athlete. He plays kind of like a maniac in a good way. He's somewhat tight-hipped.
It's a good description.
He's somewhat
matches his last name.
Yeah, Scatterbo, yeah. He's a little tight-hipped. He's got some core stiffness. You wouldn't say he's explosive in any way. He doesn't have great short area burst. He doesn't really have accelerating long speed. But there is no question that this guy is a tempo setter as a runner. I mean, he has sustaining traits. He gets hard yards. And the NFL is very often about getting hard yards. He's got a really compact frame. The thing about backs is, as we've learned, you can talk about these guys' traits, and we all do that, and that's what you do. You look at traits, you look at attributes. But then very often it gets to team and scheme, because think about, who would have thought that Kyron Williams coming out of Notre Dame as a 4th or 5th round pick would have been a quote unquote feature back in the NFL. And now he's with the Rams. Last year he carried 316 times and didn't even play the final week of the season. And Scatterbo is a bigger, more physical runner than Williams. So, you think, okay, does he have the best traits you've ever seen as a runner? No, not even close. But, you just don't know. You don't know where a guy goes. Look, he's got He certainly has the physical and mental toughness. He has really good contact balance. He finishes. I mean, depending on how a team wants to run their offense, could he be a guy that carries 17 times a game? He sure could. I would say he's probably not for everybody, but it doesn't, you don't have to be for 32 teams.
Greg Cosell with us.
It's going to be fun to watch.
On 3HL. Greg, we appreciate it, man. We're about 3 weeks away.
I know, it's crazy. It's crazy. I wish I'm just still grinding away here. I feel like I still have so many guys to watch, but hey, that's the way I feel every year.
Yes. Well, we will talk about some more guys next Thursday at 4:20. Thank you, Greg. Appreciate you, man.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks so much.
All right,
Thanks,
there he is,
Cosell.
Greg Cosell. At Greg Cosell, he is a must follow on the X machine if you are into football, which obviously if you're listening to us, you are into football. Didn't get to this, but we will when we come back. Some different measurements within a position group consistently from the combine to pro days. We'll talk about it. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Have you ever thought about having wireless and internet from the same provider? You can do it with Xfinity. How about the only wireless network that automatically connects to millions of secure Wi-Fi hotspots and the best LTE everywhere else? Have you ever experienced the ability to adjust your data at any time with a wireless carrier that saves you hundreds of dollars a year? What are the advantages of having fast, reliable internet and the best wireless network with amazing coverage no matter where you are? Well, that's the advantage in and of itself. To get started, call 1-800-XFINITY. Visit Xfinity.com or drop by an Xfinity store today for more details. Restrictions apply. Compares pricing of top carriers. Xfinity Internet required. Most reliable based on Root Metrics US reports. Results vary. Reduced speeds after 20 gigabits of usage per line.
Whether you're a homeowner creating your dream space or a pro managing multiple projects, discover a new way to shop at Ferguson Home, where great ideas become stunning spaces. Ferguson Home is designed for the way you want to shop. Explore the best selection of bath, kitchen, and lighting products online, or experience items firsthand in one of our showrooms. Our experts offer personalized support every step of the way. Bring your vision to Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. Shop top brands like Visual Comfort or find your local showroom at fergusonhome.com.
HL 104.5, The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Coming up at 5:20. Big savagery, Ramon Foster. The announcement was made today that he will be the analyst with Mike Keith for the Vol Network coverage of Tennessee football moving forward. It does not affect his role here. He will still be on in the mornings, Arcade Dub, weekday mornings from 6 until 10. But congrats to Big Savage, Ramon Foster. What a great move that is. Weird story coming out of New Orleans, Louisiana. Tulane quarterback TJ Finley has been arrested for allegedly stealing a car. So then I start looking back at TJ Finley, and I remember him coming out of high school as a very highly rated guy. Went to LSU. Then he went to Auburn. Then he went to Texas State. Then he went to Western Kentucky. And now he's at Tulane. So that's 5 schools in 6 years for TJ Finley. And again, came out of high school and went to LSU. He's from Louisiana.
And he's 40 years old.
Yeah. And he was at Auburn for a couple of years.
Yes.
Then he went to Texas State again. Then he went to Western Kentucky. Then Tulane. And now Tulane quarterback, the story from Unnecessary Roughness, Tulane quarterback TJ Finley has been arrested for allegedly stealing a car. Some of the story reads this way. Tulane quarterback and former Ponchatoula High School star Tyler Finley faces charges connected to an alleged stolen car. He was booked for illegally possessing a stolen item worth more than $25,000. According to court documents, he told authorities he had just bought the car from Atlanta. He has since been released from jail. So we'll see how that all plays out. But 6 schools and 5 schools in 6 years.
It's not ideal. It's kind of a bad look.
What about my man Moochie? Going from, he was at Ohio State, then he went to South Carolina, then he went back to Ohio State, and now he's gone back to South Carolina. I mean, you see all these transfers, right? But like very rarely do you see something like this where a player just flips from school to school multiple times. That's crazy. This story, this is what we were talking about before the break, from Dane Brugler. Among the 46 offensive linemen combine prospects who remeasured at their pro day, 43 had longer arms at their pro day than they did at the combine. So 43 of the 46 had longer arms at the combine. Are we going like, is somebody using metric system and somebody not? Like, how is this happening? Clearly they're measuring from a different spot of the arm, right? But like, what's weird about it is.
But how?
According to this, I don't know. According to this story, though, teams usually lean on combine numbers, but not this year, not with arm length with offensive linemen. They're going by the pro day numbers.
Well, and some people are like, oh, yeah, well, pro day numbers are going to be skewed a little bit, always towards the athlete. No, it's legit NFL scouts that do the measurements at pro days, too.
Yeah, this isn't an every year thing with offensive linemen and their 40. Arm lengths. Yes.
Right. Like your 40 time, you can be like, yeah, maybe it's a little bit more friendly,
but what's
to the athletes at pro days.
But it's NFL scouts that do the measurements at the pro days. It's not the university employees. Yeah, and the combine. So how are you coming up with different numbers? Also, I cannot
whatever scout did it at the combine, I'm guessing won't be asked back.
I cannot look at Jackson without laughing.
With those headphones
He's got your old headphones that were broken.
Yes.
And one of the right ear is positioned like at a 45-degree angle. So it's like it's coming out of the side of his head.
Because
actually reversed right now.
Yeah.
Oh, that's weird. 615-737-1045. If you want in at 3HL 1045 on Twitter. What did you think about some of the running back talk? When he makes the point, it depends on fit. That's why I started the conversation that way.
Right.
Because a lot of people are saying, like, if Ashton Genty goes to the Bears with their retooled offensive line and Caleb Williams and new coaching staff and all those things, that might be a perfect fit for him.
Mm-hmm.
Or the Dallas Cowboys. That's another team that people think might be a good fit for him.
I kind of feel like he'd be a fit anywhere, though.
Almost anywhere?
Yeah, he's one of the few that you don't have to worry about fit with him, I don't think.
Whereas Scatabo, he said, it definitely depends on fit.
Yes. I love how he said he's a maniac in a good way. Like, doesn't that just go with his last name, too?
Yes. Yes.
Maniac. He's a maniac on the field. I like that guy.
You have now sang on the show 2 days in a row.
Oh, Lord help us all. That's what this crazy weather does. Makes us all crazy.
How about Jarquez Hunter? That he hasn't watched tape on him yet.
I know. You know why I was like, why not? Because I was waiting for him to say because he's not a high priority prospect kind of thing.
And it's easier to watch teams with multiple prospects. So like the Auburn, like you've got the receiver and you've got the running back and
yeah.
So maybe that's why he waits to the last second. But
KLS is the receiver, right?
What did you think about Tyler Warren from Penn State when you saw him?
Unbelievable. I thought
just an incredible athlete. You can do so many things with him.
So many things. I thought. Do you know what I thought? I thought George Kittle. I just thought, and I know we talk about it with guys that used to be quarterbacks, but. Him playing quarterback in high school too. I think he played at one point. I think he was a wide receiver too. I mean, like
they use him at quarterback in packages.
Exactly. Yes.
At the college level, that's crazy.
So his football IQ though is just off the charts. Like I remember, who was their OC? Why am I blanking? Anyway, I remember him talking about him just about the day before a game, I'd be like, hey, what do you think about putting this play in? And this would be your role in it, whatever. And he said Warren would be like, okay, cool, got it, done. Like, you never have to break things down or go show him things. Like, he just, no matter what they asked of him, he got it and he did it well and never messed anything up. Like just football IQ, versatility, what you can use him and his skill set with. And I know Cosell had said, he's not a huge separator, but I just think that he's so versatile and there's so many things you can do with him, especially because of that football IQ. So he plays the position like a quarterback. Like he knows what his quarterback needs at certain times, I was really, really impressed with him and what they did with him and how they utilized him.
Vid Ziller on YouTube. Cam Ward been to as many schools as the Tulane quarterback. Not true. He played at 3, not 5.
Right.
Like TJ.
And honestly, I mean, the second switch was because he lost his coach, right?
Well, he went from Incarnate Word to Washington State to Miami.
Right.
I mean, those are all good jumps.
Well, and I feel like you can't even look at the Incarnate Word jump, right? Like basically he was at 2 schools. Yeah.
I mean,
he was a 0-star guy.
Yeah. Wing T quarterback in high school. Again, TJ Finley, Tulane quarterback. This is where that came from. Arrested for allegedly stealing a car. Kent says, sounds like he belongs at Georgia. David, next up on 3HL. David, what's up, man?
Hey, I was just calling in to wish you a birthday blessing, and also Miss Dawn. I didn't get in on her day. I actually I don't know what went on. I was trying to start with that, and somehow got dumped. But anyway, and then
David.
Welcome back, David.
and then of course Big Slay. He's Hall of Famer now, well, 2-time Hall of Famer, and down there in San Antonio. So I just wanted to shout out to all you guys. I listen to you all the time. I only have one radio station that I even put on my truck. So
we appreciate you,
David.
David.
I appreciate that, David. Thank you for the birthday wish. Thank you, man.
And then for the Cam Ward thing, I think the Titans definitely need to go that direction if they haven't already decided. But it sounds like they probably have.
I believe so, David. Yep.
It seems like it.
Yeah, all signs point to Cam Ward. I mean,
you never know.
You know, words versus actions, their actions all point that way. So we'll see. Thank you, buddy.
You all be safe. I know we got a friend of mine sent pictures of the Mount Juliet ballpark, the river. What is that? The car dealership.
Two Rivers Ford. Yeah.
Yeah, Two Rivers Ford. That's Two Rivers Ford Park there in Mount Juliet now, and
yeah,
they're basically flooded right now.
Yeah, there's flooding issues for sure. Davis Nolan just tweeted tornado warning for Hardin County until 5:30. So we'll keep you updated. Thank you, David.
There's a couple of fields in Williamson County that are flooded. I drove by.
Lots of flooding in Green Hills. Yep. I know. I saw a video there. There are.
You know Santa's Pub?
Yeah.
Outside the entire parking lot, like all the way around Santa's Pub, is flooded.
Over by the soccer stadium and the fairgrounds. Yeah, I'm looking at a picture Michelle put on Twitter of a very scary cloud in Triune. It could have been a tornado. There are all kinds of videos and pictures that people are putting out that look like a wedge tornado that happened in Spring Hill. So y'all stay safe out there. We'll do the best we can to keep you updated. In the 5 o'clock hour, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster at 5:20. Again, just named to the Vol Network staff as an analyst with Mike Keith for Tennessee football. Very excited about that. He will remain here at 104.5 The Zone. That is a Saturday gig during the fall. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Maybe let us know what you've seen out there, funnel cloud-wise, storm-wise. We would love to know. 615-737-1045.
Maybe with all these storms, you realized, oh, goodness, it really is time to get new windows in our home or new doors in your home. Maybe you know that they need to be sealed better. Maybe your windows and doors are failing or they're just old and you want to go ahead and replace them before the summer to help those cooling bills. Well, as a customer of Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville, I would love to recommend them to you. I did all the research for you because I had to replace all the windows in my townhome, and Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville was my absolute favorite, and it wasn't even close. And you might be surprised to learn how affordable replacement windows are from Pella Windows and Doors. And get this, the company is celebrating 100 years this year. So you know that Pella Windows are great. Founded in 1925, lifetime warranties on their products. And Pella Windows and Doors of Nashville has the staff in place to support you, the customer, and the deals in place. As for the Dawn deal, they'll give it to you. 50% off qualifying installations and no money down, no interest, no payments for 12 full months. Schedule your free consultation. Check out that offer. All you have to do is go online. Easiest place to do it. PellaNashville.com.
It is 5:02. Good evening from the 104.5 The Zone studios. I'm Jackson Williams. Some news in the NFL is the Raiders and quarterback Geno Smith have agreed to a 2-year extension after a blockbuster trade with the Seahawks sent Smith to Vegas earlier this offseason. Smith had a 29-25 record with the Seahawks before the trade and was a 2-time Pro Bowler and was named the 2022 AP Comeback Player of the Year. This extension keeps him tied to Vegas for the next 3 seasons. The Titans are hosting a pair of wide receivers on 30 visits. Tennessee's Dante Thornton and Washington State's Kyle Williams. Thornton's meeting with the Titans is April 15th, while Kyle Williams comes to town later next week. In NFL news, former UT quarterback Joe Milton has been traded from the Patriots along with a 7th rounder to the Cowboys for a 5th rounder. Milton was a 6th round pick in the 2024 draft himself, played in 1 game last season, his rookie season, completing 22 of 29 passes for 241 yards and a touchdown. For all your foundation repair and waterproofing needs, you need to visit USSTN.com. Breaking news at once on your home for the Titans and Vols. This is 104.5 The Zone.
Three HL 104.5 The Zone. Britt Doherty with you on a beautifully dramatic weather situation day. We've been doing our best to keep you updated, and a lot of y'all have been sending us notes on social media and pictures and videos from Spring Hill. Triune was another location. And just stay safe. We will update you on tornado warnings and things like that as we roll through the next hour. If you want in, 615-737-1045. Maybe tell us what you've seen out there, 615-737-1045. There was one moment where just looking across Division Street here downtown Nashville, you could see the clouds rotating very slowly. Which did not materialize. Apparently the air mass now cooler, which is enabling a leakage of these the power in these storms. So certainly not through it yet. This is a situation that will be updated minute by minute. A great Twitter follow again, Nash Severe WX on Twitter. 3HL 104.5 The Zone. Dawn Davenport is here, y'all.
Let's go. Twitch, please. Happy Thursday, everybody. I know there's a lot of people out there bleary-eyed after being up from about, 3 a.m., 2 a.m. until
Actually, I think
7.
It started for me around 11:30 paying attention to all that stuff. So, yeah, and it, about 6 in the morning. But all night. Seth slept through it all again.
Mm-hmm. I just immediately looked back there like he's behind the glass or something, which he's not.
No, but, the other half of him, not his fiance, Jackson, is back there.
Yeah.
I texted him. He didn't get up.
Mayor texted him, too. He didn't respond.
No, but Travis Harder did, and I appreciated that as he was watching out for y'all. 3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom, 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. FergusonHome.com. What about Joe Milton going from the Patriots to the Cowboys? If y'all haven't seen this, the Cowboys get Joe Milton and a 7th-round pick in this year's draft. The Patriots get a 2025 5th-round pick. What does that tell us about the value of Will Levis and a potential trade for Will Levis? Do you think, I've got a weird feeling that Will Levis will get dealt on draft day. Maybe not day 1, maybe day 2. But what's the value of him? If Joe Milton's worth a 5th, because a 7th-round pick's a throwaway pick. Mm-hmm. If he's worth a 5th, what is Will Levis worth? Joe Milton played in that last game of the year that actually put Tennessee in the number 1 spot in the draft. But the dude started 1 game. So, does it actually benefit Joe Milton for having less experience than Will Levis? We've got way more tape on Will Levis. We know way more about what he is.
Yes. Joe Milton benefits from less tape than Will Levis. Think about it, though. Let's say, I don't know, let's say you just had Will Levis tape from last year. And how many games was that? He was worth way more. I mean, shoot, they thought he could be their franchise quarterback. But then you add all the games this year, all of a sudden that value is poof.
Joe Milton has played one NFL game. He beat the Buffalo Bills 23-16 with the Patriots. Mm-hmm. He was 22 of 29 for 241 yards and a touchdown.
Listen, he put enough on tape to be like, okay, that was his first ever NFL game. There's potential here.
Against non-Bill starters. Let's keep that in mind.
We'll give you a 5th round pick for him.
He also had a rushing touchdown in that game too. But 6'5", 246, and the arm talent is there. I mean, listen, the man could rob a bank by throwing a football through the vault. Right?
Hey, he could end up, I mean, a legit, really good backup and or quarterback in this league. You just don't know. I'd take a flyer on him with a 5th round pick. Would you take a flyer on Will Levis?
I'm trying to get a 3rd round pick for Will Levis.
See,
can I do it?
No.
Can I trade a 6th round pick and Will Levis for a 3rd round pick?
No, I don't think so.
If Joe Milton's worth a 5th round pick with one game in his bag?
No, that's the problem. Will Levis has more than one game.
Too much tape.
That is the problem. There's too much tape. He put way too many inconsistencies and panic. And, I mean, I could go on and on tape for you to get a 3rd round for him. Sorry, Mayor. But you dream it. You're California dreaming.
All right, mamas and the papas. 615-737-1045 is the number. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Two-Tone says, according to analyst, Milton is better than Dak now. I'm not going to go that far.
No, come on.
Dak does get hurt a lot, Kent says. Great spot for Milton to land. Yeah, I mean.
No, that's true. It's a great opportunity for Milton. And honestly, I mean, a 5th round pick, you never know.
He is the backup to Dak Prescott.
Right.
Now. Like he's number 2. Who does number 2 work for?
So,
Jerry Jones.
Anthony in our chat said the most in all caps you're getting for Levis is a 4th, and that's if we get a 4th. I agree with him on that. I think that's where you are.
Kent says Levis going to go for a bag of Miss Vicky's spicy dill pickle chips.
Ooh, those are good.
Jackson, is that Scooby and you just misspelled it?
Nope, Scooby.
Okay, Scooby. Scooby, what's up, man?
Yes, sir. What is up with all the Milton hate? Why?
Who's hating on Milton? You're totally
Y'all
misinterpreting what we're saying.
He made 1 or 2 plays and just he's a good quarterback.
I don't think there's any Milton hate. No, Scooby, all we were saying was he has one game of tape.
And he played well.
To go by. He has one game. That's it.
There's no Milton hate here.
Yeah, there's no Milton hate there. What we're actually saying, I think a 5th round could be a steal. 5th round pick for him could be a steal.
My only question is, what does that mean for Will Levis? Thank you, Scooby. I mean, there's no hate there for Joe Milton. I don't even know how he got that from what we've said about Joe Milton today.
What, Jackson, did it sound like we were hating on Milton?
No, it sounded like Will Levis was catching the majority of the flack.
Yes.
No, I'm trying to get a 3rd round pick for Levis.
Which is the usual. And I'm telling you, you're crazy.
Well,
that is exactly what you should have played when he said, I want a 3rd round pick for Will Levis.
No, I didn't say I want. I said I'm trying to figure out how to get one.
You package it with 2 4ths, maybe.
2 4ths? No way, dude. 2 4ths and Levis for a 3rd? No. Come on, Jackson.
I think it's fair.
That's how much you think of Levis.
What about a 5th and a 6th with Will Levis to get a 3rd? Because they have 2 5ths and 2 6s.
Yeah.
I said that weird. 2 5s and 2 6s. Or 2 5ths and 2 6ths.
Ooh, that's hard to say.
Right. So I should have gone 2 5s and 2 6s. Played your strengths.
You're not getting a 3rd straight up.
Oh, no, not straight up. You're going to have to package a deal.
I mean.
Will Levis and a 2nd for a 3rd.
It is funny that we're trying to figure out a way to get something for Levis.
Sorry, Levis.
Because, I mean, theoretically, it makes sense to keep him on the roster financially.
Yeah, he's cheap.
If he wins the backup job. If he doesn't, then you move on. But at that point, you would have to release him and get nothing for him. I wouldn't be surprised if they figure out a deal. Maybe they get another fourth. So then they would have 3 fourths. Maybe that's how you work your way into the third.
Or maybe they trade back and get all these picks and don't get a quarterback in the draft, and Will Levis is your starter.
There's so many options. Drama, baby. Lots of storylines. All right, when we come back, Big Savagery, Ramon Foster. We'll talk more Titans football next. 3HL, and we'll talk about the Vols. As Ramon is the new analyst with Mike Keith on the Vol Network. Ramon still will be on in the morning. Want to make that...
Don't panic.
Want to make that clear. Anthony says Mayor is playing Madden now. I don't know what I'm doing. I know this. Don Davenport has something to give away. Babs Prize Closet is coming up, so stay tuned for that as well. Big Savagery. Ramon Foster next on 3HL.
We've got the trucks, all the trucks, all the trims, all the towing, all the bells and whistles, and all at Truck Month Savings. Two Rivers Ford is Ford Truck Central.
Did you know you're overpaying for your health and wellness products? With over 20 company-owned brands offering its members vitamins, supplements, wellness, and skincare products, you're able to save up to 70% off retail.
Members Nutrition can't change your life, but we can change the way you live.
She's a maniac, Dawn. 3HL 1045 The Zone. Well done.
It's a great song.
Smiley producing
Good job,
the
Smiley.
show as Zeph gets ready for his wedding. Zeph getting ready for the wedding involves him like texting us today nonstop and texting you nonstop, right, Jackson?
Yep, he actually called me on the station phone about 20 minutes ago.
What is he doing?
He's going to get a haircut.
Well, that's important. I hope they don't screw it up.
Is 2 days in front of the wedding the right day?
Nope.
I think he should have like allowed 2 more days, like 4 days.
Because then if it's really bad, at least it can that's a little ballsy.
I need to find my 7th grade picture because my mom took me to get my hair cut. Actually, I think she did it. And the day before school pictures. So in my 7th grade school picture, I look like literally I'm 7 years old, which is not the age where you're trying to look like something different than everyone else. I was in the 7th grade. I'm serious.
Come on, Mom.
Yeah, it's bad. I'm going to try to find it.
I just cut baby Bab's hair, by the way, because she kept fighting me and wouldn't let me take her to get it cut. No, because my sister-in-law does hair.
Mm-hmm.
But they live in Atlanta, so I haven't had time to get her to get her hair cut or whatever. And it's so long and it's so curly. And I'm like, I can't even fix your hair anymore. So I got her out of the bath. I told Mr. Babs to bring me the kitchen scissors, and I just straight cut it straight across.
Oh, man.
I sent a picture to my sister-in-law, and she was like, what have you done? I'm like, listen,
gosh.
drastic times call for drastic
You don't know
measures.
anything about like how to layer anything, right?
Especially curly hair. I'm like, oh, it's curly. You can't tell that it's like uneven. Oh no, you can tell that it's uneven. So at some point I'm gonna have to.
You got to go to Atlanta to get it fixed.
Yeah.
That's really funny.
Yeah.
The newest member of the Vol Network joins us now, Ramon Foster, Big Savager. Congratulations, my friend.
Yay!
Hey, thank y'all, man. I was waiting to let the cat out the bag, man, and we're finally here. I appreciate y'all, man. I heard y'all a little bit earlier, and I hadn't heard the rest because my phone has been nonstop. So it's been a real good outpouring of congratulations and support, and hey, this is everybody tell you this is what we thought should happen. It's been really fun and impressive. By the way, Babs, never cut your child hair at home because it's never as straight as you think it is. The reason I know is because my cousin cut my hair when I was younger and gave me a bowl cut. And, and since then, I've only been going to barbers. So I know baby Babs is going to hate you when she see these pictures.
I know. Hey, it's curly. You can't tell.
But you can. It's like hanging pictures, man.
You totally can tell.
You can't hang pictures next to each other. It takes forever. Multiple holes, everything. I can't see straight lines without them being there.
Yeah. Hey,
that's a true story. Yeah, the Vault Network actually broke that story, Ramon. So I think.
How excited are you?
I'm very excited, Babs. This is y'all know I'm all Vol, man, all the way, and I'm super excited, man. I got a call from Vol Network about this. Mike Keefe ended up reaching out to at one point, and it's been hard trying to keep this bottled up. It's been hard trying to keep it tight because it's like working for, I don't know. I grew up there. I met my wife there. We had our oldest child there. Miles went to a game and said, "Dad, I'm gonna run out the tee." It means a lot to us as a family specifically, and to me also, man. From a small little hometown from a small town in West Tennessee. To leave a double wide trailer, go to the University of Tennessee, make my own way, and go pro. And I got in this media world just thinking, okay, yeah, this is what I like to do because I love sports. Like I never thought I'd be presented with an opportunity to actually go back to a place that I love and actually call football games there, man, with a guy like Mike Keefe. This is huge, man. That's all I've been saying is that this is huge. I'm excited. I'm ready to get going with it, man, and it's where the balls are right now. I almost feel like I'm cheating the process a little bit because I've seen them go through the Dooleys, the Kiffins, the Butches, the Pruitts, and to see where they are right now as a university, man, having Mike there means a whole lot for sure. Mike Keefe, that is, and for him to consider me and Vol Network to give me a call and be like, hey, we want you to be our color analyst. I was speechless. I'll be completely honest with you guys. I was speechless is what I was.
That's awesome.
Carol on YouTube.
We're happy for you.
Congratulations, Ramon. Happy for you. Rhonda says, I'm so happy for you, Ramon. This is exciting news for Vol Nation. So the cool thing about it is you get to be involved in telling the story of Tennessee football when you look at these games in that way. And you are going to have some incredible moments that will go down in history. Not to put pressure on you and to understand those moments are happening, but you know, man. I mean, you grow up a fan of a university, you remember all those calls, and you remember, the call of Dale Carter running the kickback in 1990 and in the second half, and the Notre Dame call and all those things. The Vol Network is such a treasured thing in a lot of people's minds and hearts and souls in Vol Nation, and this is a big deal. I know you understand that, but I want everyone else to understand how big a deal this is.
It is, man. And you take me back to a spot like I ended up calling. My hometown paper called me in Ripley, Tennessee, man, Lauderdale Enterprise, and I did an article with them, and I was like, man, I got to call my high school coach, man, Coach Johnny McAdams. I think he's the superintendent right now in Huntington, Tennessee. And I had to call him and say thank you to him. He didn't hear it at the time. And I was like, Coach Mac, I wanted to say thank you because I don't think you imagine in 2003 when we were taking recruiting visits to the University of Tennessee for junior day and for football games, he'd take us to Ole Miss, to Memphis, to Arkansas, all those types of places. And for the longest, I didn't know Coach Mack played at the University of Tennessee, too. He never mentioned it. And for me to get that offer and commit that fall and for me now to be full circle going back, I had to, just call and we talked for a while this evening, and I was just, talking through the process of, like, I never imagined that this would be a part of my story. And you're right, Mayor, because I remember riding back with Coach Mack, and he turned on the radio, and at that time, I'm trying to listen to some hip-hop or, something else, and he's got ball calls on after the game, or we listen up to the pregame as soon as we hit that Knoxville signal, and we turn it on and hear the stories that those guys were painting and how the game was going to go, and to think to myself, like, here I am in a position to do the exact same things. Like you mentioned, like being a part of writing or verbalizing Tennessee history. I understand the weight of that too, man, but I also understand, what Vol Nation is wanting in that spot right there is to be in a position to where a guy that's been, close to the game, been in Tennessee, loved the University of Tennessee and the football program also, and to be able to show that excitement and give back to a bunch of this fan base that is real crazy like I am. It was some times on those Titans radio road trips where I'm, stressing and yelling and squeezing Mike Keith or punching Rhett Bryan or Philip Noel or Brad or Amy. Like, it was a lot of that. So I don't know what Mike Keith saw in me to consider me, because I know there's a lot of people that would love to have had this opportunity. But, again, I'm beyond appreciative that I was selected and get this opportunity, Mayor, as you said, to kind of verbalize Tennessee history like that.
Yes, for sure. And as a VFL, man, I'm so excited about, the future memories of some huge plays and huge wins and huge games. Having the voice of Mike Keith and Ramon Foster behind them is very, very exciting as a Vol fan. So congratulations, man, from the depths of my soul. And you're gonna crush it.
Yes, you are.
Big shout to Ramon Foster. He will stay with Arcade Dub, so if you're wondering about that,
right.
we do need to make that point.
That's
6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone. We've been talking about this trade. Joe Milton and a 7th rounder is worth a 5th round pick in today's NFL, okay?
Right.
He's started one game. Does that kind of give us a hint as to what Will Levis's value might be, and what might that be?
I think it does, man. Immediately when that happened for us, I think it was Kayla that pointed out that Schefter had breaking news, and I was like, what? And she said Joe Milton, Joe Milton was traded, and there had been conversation about Joe being traded for a while, or the fact that he had value. I mean, you got to think, this is what we spoke about as it pertains to Levis and Coach Callahan. Like, Vrabel inherited Joe Milton. He didn't pick Joe Milton. And when a guy has value like that, and you're trying to rebuild a team, and he's not your guy moving forward, because they got Drake May. Like, what Joe did at the end of the season was phenomenal, and how he's, reshaped how he's reshaped who he is, the perception that people think of him, and also the optimism that he has for a team that wants to utilize him is high. It's very high. I think if you talk to a lot of people surrounding Joe Milton coming out of Tennessee, a lot of people did think he was going to be a better pro than he was college player. I don't know if it was because of the bigger football or the better athletes that you have at your disposal. And I say better athletes because at that point, it's the top 1%. Like, he's not throwing to an 18-year-old or a 19-year-old. He's throwing to guys that have careers and have been in the league, for a few years at that point. So you expected Joe to potentially understand the game a little bit better. And it's also the unknown parts of Joe, too, that people have the opportunity to be intrigued by. But I thought about Will Levis this morning to get to his point. And this is where I stood with Levis. Like you say, like a 5th round pick is still very premium to me, considering that you could get nothing for Will Levis. And I said to myself, I think the difference between Joe Milton and Will Levis is this. Joe still has a whole lot of mystery about him. Joe Milton does. Joe still has a whole lot of optimism about what you can turn him into, because you saw him have flashes of success last year, especially in that last game where they shouldn't have won. You saw that. Levis's issue to me, as far as trying to find value, this is just my opinion, I think he's just been overexposed. He's got a reputation of, not being good. He has a...
We got a weather alert.
We do have a weather alert. Yes, thank you, Babsy. If you are watching on YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch, you do not hear the weather alert. You hear us on the radio. The weather alert is going on now. Did you catch that? Was that severe thunderstorm
tornado
warning?
Tornado warning, Southwest Dixon County, Southwest Humphreys County, Perry County, and Hickman County.
So Dixon County, Hickman County, Perry County,
Humphreys
County.
Radar indicated rotation.
All right, so we're keeping up with this as best we can.
Days.
Yeah, Ramon Foster he is on hold right now, so he will join us again. Again, tornado warning for parts of Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, and Perry County. We just went outside during the break, and it's a lot cooler in downtown Nashville.
It's almost cold. And it was 85 degrees yesterday. Which
definitely helps in terms of minimizing the fuel of these storms. They need the warmer air as a part of what they get done. But again, if you're in the Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Perry County area, definitely get in your safe space for these tornado warnings. We've seen them all night. We've seen them all afternoon. There are videos and pictures in the daylight. Again, back on live now. We when the weather alerts come on, we continue to talk on the Zone TV feed. So that's where we are there. Portions of Dixon, Hickman, Humphreys, Perry counties under a tornado warning. Take cover if you are in those areas. Big Savage, Ramon Foster, joins us again. And Ramon, talking through the what does Will Levis deal look like based on Joe Milton in a seventh worth a fifth. Could I give up one of the 2 6th-round picks and maybe get a fourth in a package deal for Levis?
Give up a 6th and a 4th. I almost feel like you got to give up Levis and almost a 5th to get a 4th.
Oh, okay.
The way I view that one.
Well, they've got 2 5th-round picks too.
Well, they got 2 5ths. So, I mean, are you willing to move up to get better picks to give up those 2 5s? Because, again, I just said those 2 5s are premiums too. I just look at Levis as like you might send him in a 7th for a 6th again, is the way I view his situation. And it's only because I feel like
you ain't never getting to your third, Mayor.
No.
Yeah, Ramon, I was trying to get that 3rd-round pick back.
Because I look at a quarterback in the same situation, man. I'm trying to effort real quick. Kenny Pickett trade from Pittsburgh. Kenny Pickett trade from Pittsburgh to Eagles. And what did that net for the Steelers? Because I feel like they had to send them something also. So that was to the Browns. I don't have it in front of me right now, but I don't think the Steelers got a nice haul from him either. So that's what it is. And the trade announced by the Steelers, they ended up, the Steelers will receive a 2024 3rd-round pick and 2 25 7th-round picks for Pickett and a 2024 4th round. So they gave up a 4th and Pickett for a 3rd and 2 7ths for Kenny Pickett.
Yeah.
So there is a possibility. I just don't know if Kenny Pickett's reputation was as bad as Will Levis's. Like, if I had to ask,
I don't think it was.
Exactly. So is that part of it too? And what are you going to be asking him to do? Like, Liam Cohen may be your best trade candidate, but are the Jacksonville Jaguars willing to give up draft picks just so their head coach can get Will Levis? Probably no.
As
There's
a backup.
an opportunity for it, but I doubt it. Right? And he'll be a backup at that point too.
Yeah. Interesting.
Ramon Foster with us at Ramon Foster on Twitter. Again, RK Dub weekday mornings from 6 until 10. Back to the analyst role with the Vol Network. We're getting multiple questions. What does this mean for you in terms of Titans radio?
I will not be doing Titans radio moving forward on Sundays on the sidelines. And it's simply because of logistics of it, of course. And then the role of being with the Vols is, that's Saturdays, and I wouldn't be able to make it to an NFL town on Sundays too. And just also, so I want to verbalize this by saying, man, Titans Radio have been nothing but accepting to me also. Rhett Bryant, Amy Wells, Mike Keith when he was there, Philip Noel, Brad Willis, and Ashley Farrell, like legitimately, and also just the Titans family in general too. They welcomed me, man, from Vrabel to Coach Callahan. Shook both of those hands, had conversations with those guys. Y'all know Rand and I have a relationship, having also talked to Chad and Borgonzi, like the coaches, Coach Rocker and I had conversations. Like, there was a lot that happened over the course of years, and this wasn't just it was an obvious answer to say yes to Vol Network, but it was a hard conversation to be had in a lot of different ways surrounding like leaving an NFL team to join a college team. But it's unique because that's my alum, and if anybody ever seen me walk around the building around the city or in the airport, I'm always going to have on something Vols, it seems like, for the most part. So I had to say yes to it, but I was also pulling of the strings simply because, like, I'm an outsider as it pertains to what the Titans are as a franchise. I only played in Pittsburgh, and I got to give it to Rhett, man, and Mike, and just everybody else, and Amy for even considering me for that role, because that could have easily been one of their own Titans alum, and they chose me. So I'm indebted to them, man, and I'm gracious for them allowing me in, because this helped further my ability to get more reps and more exposure to allow me to have this role with the Vols too. So I had said it out loud. I'll say it again tomorrow morning on our show, but I'm very thankful for that opportunity to be allowed on that team, playing and everything. A lot goes into the decisions as far as letting people be that close to your franchise the way the Titans did with me.
Mm-hmm.
Love it, Ramon. Thanks for hopping on. We always enjoy your visits on Thursdays at 5:20, and man, stay weather aware. We keep saying lots of stuff going on.
By the way, stay weather aware, but also make sure y'all check out Ron Slay, our brother, our Savage man at the station too. He is calling that slam dunk contest and 3-point contest, man, tonight, and I can't wait to watch him.
It's gonna be awesome. Tonight. He's going to be walking around with a microphone, he told us today.
And headbands.
And he's got headbands to give out. 6 to 8 on the big network, ESPN, tonight. So
yeah, no doubt about it.
Good.
I love it.
Is there a better job? Like, I mean, this job is just created for him, right?
It is.
Sports
That's
MC.
A lot of people ain't. Like, I'm celebrating what I got going on, but I'm side-eyeing like, Ron, they made a spot for you in the slam dunk contest. I don't know what the big wigs got going on, but the 4-letter network made a spot for him to do this. That says a lot.
Mom, if you talk to him, tell him to please don't give in to the temptation to try to dunk it again.
We need his Achilles to stay intact.
I think it was Coach Mack that told him, or Mike Keith one, hey, you're never supposed to have 2 feet off the ground ever again once you get over 40.
Yep, that's exactly what he told him.
Congrats again, Ramon. We'll be listening tomorrow, 6 to 10 weekday mornings on 104.5 The Zone, Arcade Dub. Thank you, man.
No doubt.
All right. Love you, brother. There he goes, Ramon Foster. When we come back, more of your phone calls, 615-737-1045. Again, tornado warning, Dixon County, Hickman County, Humphreys County, Perry County, portions of those counties in effect. So, again, be very aware and alert. This thing is going all the way through Sunday, apparently. So, flooding concerns as well. Do not try to drive across rising water. We'll be right back, 3HL 1045 The Zone.
All right, y'all. Listen up. I'm telling you right now, PAI Medical is where you want to go. RegrowHair.com. Slid over there today and got my little 45-minute treatment, the laser or PRP treatments. You can do either one for men or women. It's just sitting there. You sit under the lamp. You get on in there, get some work done. While you're sitting there, 30, 45 minutes, boom, you're out. You're gone. See them in 2 days if need be. Just up to you. Now, you want to look and feel better about yourself? This is the time and the place that you need to go to get it done. It can start right there, building your little confidence when you're looking in the mirror. You're like, man, that little sunroof. Nope, I don't want the sunroof. I want a hard top. Let me close it up. I can put some hair bell. I'm cool. It's mine. It's my own. Just need a little help growing it. That's all you got to do. Call them right now at 615-376-6010. That's 615-376-6010. Nowhere else in Tennessee has the Artist Robotic FUE procedure. And We Grow Hair's high-density hair transplants that give you 2 times more hair. So 615-376-6010. Go where I trust. WeGrowHair.com for your free consultation right now.
3HL 1045 The Zone. Brent Doherty, Don Davenport with you. Babs' Prize Closet is going to open. Is it going to open now? Like, why are you shivering?
It's cold.
It's cold outside now?
Yes. I just went to check it out, see the weather. Looks sketchy. It's freezing.
It is 61 degrees, Dawn.
It was 83 degrees this morning.
I know, but 61
it was
is not
83
freezing.
degrees. When I left and got in my car to come to the show today, I was like, oh my gosh, I am sweating. I should not have worn this long or like 3/4 length sleeve shirt. And now it is so cold. I mean, I know you say that's a good thing for weather, right? But it just, whoa, what a shift.
I was really worried about what that word was going to be.
What a Shiano show.
There are reds and oranges to the southwest of Nashville moving toward this direction. So lots of storms out there, and it looks like it's going to continue on into the night. There's a big line of storms heading into West Tennessee in just a little bit that will, I guess, head this way. So long night last night, maybe another long night tonight. Just make sure, like, if it's overnight again, man, and you're up, try to keep kind of a mental Rolodex of your people and make sure they're awake.
Mm-hmm.
When these
some of these pictures that people are sending me on Twitter too are terrifying. I mean, just looking at the clouds and Spring Hill.
Right. And so, like, these things were hitting
Smyrna.
These things were hitting the ground last night, but you can't see them.
Right.
So, different deal during the day. But anyway, that's what is going on. You can watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
Candy B91. So, what I'm hearing is I have a chance to be the Titans sideline reporter. LOL, Candy B says.
Go Candy.
Yeah, I'm guessing they'll get that play-by-play thing finalized and announced, and then
probably have to do that first,
and
right?
go from there. Yeah. So we'll see. Taylor Zarzar. Jackson is producing the show today and doing a great job, except reminding me when to break.
I got you last time.
Yes, you did.
And reminded me to give tickets away.
I'm just giving you crap. Yes, Babs' Prize Closet is now open, y'all.
Yes. Caller number 5 to 615-737-1045. You win 2 tickets to see Kane Brown at Bridgestone Arena on Saturday, April 12th. Good luck to you. Kane Brown's a great show. I saw him a couple years ago.
You like low-key dig the country scene.
I love country music. Like love it. I used to love it as a kid, obviously growing up in Texas. My parents hated it and would like fight me to not put country music on the radio.
What did they like? Like 60s and stuff?
Michael Jackson. And,
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, they're
Beach
cool.
Boys, you know.
You sang the Beach Boys yesterday with me. We sang a duet on yesterday's show.
Growing up, it was Michael Jackson and the Beach Boys all the time on their little record player.
It's funny, like because you tend to sing from time to time on this show, but you hardly ever sing country songs. It's usually like 90s type stuff.
I do like my 90s rap.
Rap and R&B. From Tim Wyatt with TennesseeTitans.com, the Titans offseason program will begin April 22nd and will end June 12th for the veterans. OTAs, which are organized team activities, begin on May 27th. The last session is June 5th. There will be a 3-day mini camp June 10th through the 12th. Everything else is voluntary, not that. So they will plan 2 road practice sessions. Do you think that's like they're kind of selling it as a way for players to bond and get closer? You buying into that?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think so too.
And it gets players here. It gets them in the facility. It gets them, starting routines, all of the above. Yeah.
Another note, Virginia transfer guard Isaac McNeely, we've mentioned him visiting Tennessee on Tuesday. Today he committed to Louisville. Louisville getting it done, man. McNeely going to Louisville. Yes, 615-737-1045 if you want in. John next up on 3HL. John, what's up, man?
What's up, lady and gentlemen? I appreciate you taking my call. I hope you are staying safe throughout this hardcore weather.
Best we can.
I wanted to throw a hypothetical trade out there. It's a fun time of year. You guys let us nobody fans play GM, and I was going to do that. Throw one out there and get your take.
Go for it.
So I'm a big proponent of the Titans trading back because I want us to collect a ton of picks. And so this hypothetical trade sends our number one pick to New Orleans in return for Derek Carr, the 9th pick, where we take Jackson Dart, who I think may be the most underrated quarterback in this draft. We get a 2025 third and a 2026 first. So we get a vet to mentor the young stud. And it reminds me of 2017 when Berganzi and those boys took an underrated Patrick Mahomes at 10, just one spot above. I'll hang up and listen to your
Thank
thoughts.
you, John.
I appreciate you guys.
That's
Thanks,
interesting on a number of levels. Number one, Jackson Dart is not Don Davenport's guy.
Nope. He's not my guy. But fine.
Before we even began this draft prospect, remember I said he's going to work his way into that third first-round quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And all signs point to that.
So
would you be good with Derek Carr mentoring Jackson Dart? Because to me, Jackson Dart, to his point, that would be the kind of quarterback that might need to sit a year. Okay? Like, you take Cam Ward number one, he's starting day one.
Or maybe like sit for 5 years.
Okay, perhaps.
Sorry.
But if you make that deal, you're making that deal for a reason, and it's because you believe in him on some level.
Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, you don't make that deal without it. So where are the Saints in the draft order? Okay, so that would be Derek Carr, trade back to 9. You get a first next year, a third this year, and you go with Jackson Dart. What is your take on Derek Carr?
I'm not a huge Derek Carr guy, and I'll tell you the moment that it happened for me. I can specifically give you one moment where it happened to me. Bengals were playing the Raiders in Cincinnati in the playoffs. This is the year the Bengals went to the Super Bowl. And Derek Carr had a situation where it was 4th and goal late in that game where they were trying to take the lead and probably win. And he didn't even throw it into the end zone. He threw it short of the end zone, gave his team no chance to win, lost to the Bengals, and it pissed me off. And I don't even know why it pissed me off. But I'm like, how do you not throw that ball into the end zone? You need a touchdown here. This is the playoffs, Jack. So that's where I am with Derek Carr.
So you've been off of Derek Carr since then.
Yeah, and I wasn't really on him anyway. And then they did Hard Knocks. Yeah. Remember the weird Raiders Hard Knocks thing?
Yeah.
With the cryogenic chamber and the frostbite and all that stuff. And Derek Carr was involved in that whole thing. And not that part of it. But I'm not a huge fan. You're not in on that deal because of Jackson Dart.
That's why I'm not. That's your quarterback that Derek Carr is going to mentor. So Derek Carr is your bridge. So John's deal is Derek Carr is your bridge quarterback, and your quarterback of the future is Jackson Dart. The reason I'm not in that, I'm okay with the terms. I'm okay with the trade back to 9.
Third round this year, first
add a third because you don't have one this year, and then first. Whatever the Saints first.
I think it might
take
more than that.
Maybe.
Pick-wise.
But I'm okay. I'm great with those terms. I'm just not great with Jackson Dart is going to be your quarterback of the future. But that's just because I'm not sold on Jackson Dart.
You can always watch the show live, YouTube, Facebook Live, Twitter, and Twitch.
Twitch, please.
DHB on YouTube, right? Saints are going to take Dart. That might happen.
Yeah.
That's a great point, DHB. That really might happen.
So the Carr bridge quarterback with Jackson Dart might actually happen in New Orleans.
But in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Can't you see that? I could totally see that.
Yeah.
3HL powered by Ferguson Home. Discover the Mount Juliet showroom at 401 South Mount Juliet Road. Ferguson Home, where it all comes together. The Friday edition of 3HL comes up tomorrow. We will be here. And again, everybody stay safe out there. Coming up on Monday, Babs and Slay are both out. So it's going to be Mayor and Moonshine on Monday. And
I like the alliteration.
I was talking with Mary Annie last night, and he is very excited about doing it.
Good.
So he kept sending me gifts of fired up people, basically.
So
he's excited about it.
I am sorry I'm leaving you, but this is it's one of those routine medical procedures that you scheduled forever ago. And it just happened to be that that Slay's out. So
No, it's all good. I mean, your health is clearly more important than telling jokes on the radio for a day.
I'm not excited about this procedure.
Yeah, this is not a
fun one.
Not a fun one, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's coming up, and that's about as far forward in my head as I'd go. I cannot tell
That's
you
way further than I'm going right now.
anything that will happen Tuesday, except for the three of us will be here. Again, check out Slate tonight.
Friends that anyone can have.
Involved with the ESPN State Farm College Slam Dunk and Three-Point Championships from 6 until 8 o'clock on ESPN. So check him out there, and we'll be back at it tomorrow. We appreciate you guys. Again, stay tuned with the weather situation going on throughout tonight and flooding and severe weather and all those things. Jackson, great job producing.
Appreciate it.
Yep. And what's coming up next? More of us?
More of you guys, the 3HL after party.
There you go. That's coming up next. We really appreciate you guys including us in your day. We do not take that for granted, nor do we take that lightly. Have a great night. Good night. God bless.
See ya. Wouldn't want to be ya.
Shout out to those thunderstorms out there. Get the hell out of here, man.